Hello and welcome to another episode of SuperCoach Insider. My name is Ben.
And I'm Chris.
And thank you for having us. 3 rounds of down. The season is well and truly upon us.
It is, most definitely.
Look, first things first, Chris. Let's get those socials. Facebook.com/SC Insider. It's Twitter. We are SC_Insider_.
And on Twitch, which a lot of people are watching us right now, it's twitch.tv/SC_Insider.
Yes.
And of course on YouTube, which YouTube's going like really well.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed this week, but it's going really well. Search for us. Our channel is SuperCoach Insider, and all of our episodes that are on Twitch are uploaded there as well.
Yep. So,
cool.
and I'm hoping to go home and upload this like I did last week, the MP3. So, Spotify, SoundCloud, you name it, wherever your audio platform.
You're good with the socials now, man. You're getting right into it. I like it.
I've been getting banter fresh the last little bit. Maybe I've just been, delaying the university. So, just quickly, thank you very much for everyone that has liked us on Facebook. We are only about 16 or 18 off 1,000 likes on Facebook, which to us is huge.
Pretty good.
And we have hit over 1,500 now. It's like 1,563 or something on Twitter as well. So, I really appreciate it. Maybe it is my quips and my funny mannerisms online, possibly.
Possibly.
I did like the Goddard pretzel joke.
That was
Steve-O,
good.
and the fact that
if Steve-O is
and
a fan of
he actually
ours,
liked it.
yeah.
He liked my comment on Twitter, which was amazing. Okay, so today is lovely sponsored by Jack Samuel. Jack Samuel is going for the...
We should put a bit of context into yesterday at the end of our podcast.
Last week.
We had a lovely supporter out there donate to us a 6-pack of beers.
Yep.
These are Young Henrys. They're fantastic. So we're sponsored by them today. So thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you,
3,
Jack.
2, 1, let's go. Oh, get in there.
That was arousing.
All right.
Well, here's the funny thing, Chris. I was actually like, I need to stop drinking so much. And except Jack's bought some beers, so so if
dude, it's once a week. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I might be sober next week unless somebody wants to shout some beers. But
fair call.
I've been getting on the juice a bit too much lately. So, Chris,
cool.
How did you score this week, Chris? Let's do a quick summary of our scores.
Look, I had a decent week again. I didn't have an amazing week, but I had a decent week. So. My total score was 2,365. That's 2,365.
Oh,
so
I did again.
It was okay. I was from Saturday night. I was hoping to hit 2,400, and I thought I would really hit that. I was like, okay, if I get a 150 from McRae, I'm pretty much a shoe-in. At quarter time in the Doggies game, I wasn't looking so great. I think it was on 8 points at quarter time.
7 or 9, or it was horrible.
Yeah, so...
and Chris and I, quick disclosure, we both captained McRae, thinking he would go absolutely large. And, well, we were hoping for the extra 50-point buff. And then after quarter time, we're like, what have we done?
I'll be happy with 100.
Yeah, just make 100. And then he gets past 100. 120. Go 120.
That's why you don't take the risk.
Oh, do not do it.
Because I was just on edge the whole time.
Do not do it. And we have some great insight for captains this week, which will be huge.
We do.
Okay.
So I did that, and so I'm now ranked inside the top 1,500. So I'm 1,330. But to be honest, there's literally not much difference between me and like the top 20. But also between me and, say, 10,000. So
yeah, there's not much.
There's a bit of a log jam around where we are. And I think you're only just behind that as well.
Yeah, I think I'm about 120 or something off you, or something, 160 maybe.
So you're not even that far behind.
Yeah, it's pretty much the difference between like Gray and Dunkley, and then and I've gone Oliver. Have you got Oliver?
I've got
Oliver.
Oliver.
Fyfe. So Fyfe and
Fyfe.
Matty Crouch, who was doing well, except for Fyfe decided to get himself knocked out, which was
it's all his fault, hey.
Pretty much. Well, Chris, I was actually on track. My projected score actually told me I was going 24-13. And I ended up with 22-83.
Shout out.
So
wow, okay, cool. So that's...
I don't know where all the points went.
Where did all the points go?
Where did all the points go? 22-83. Oh, so I'm still sitting at 6,500. What do you do? I used one trade, though. I did bring in Darcy Moore, who nearly got injured, which was
I can tell you
hilarious.
where those points are, mate. They're in Lockie Neal's back pocket.
Well, and I have Lockie Neal, but the problem is I don't have Liberatore.
I don't have Libber either.
No, anyway,
Upsetting.
But look, hey, Rockliff got knocked out too, so at least someone out there would have had Fyfe and Rockliff.
Yep, a lot of people had Fyfe and Rockliff.
And I actually think a lot of those other top scorers probably had Whitfield in their defence somewhere with or something.
This week's top scorer is basically, if you'd have to have the top 3, which was Neil, Whitfield, and Libber, and if you had those 3, you were scoring 2,500.
Tell you what.
So
Jack, this is the first time I've actually tried this beer, mate. It's actually pleasant.
Well, it's actually really
it's
nice.
It's almost like a bolter.
And
the scent.
Yes, the scent
stings the nostrils.
Stings the nostrils.
I love Scotch.
Yes. I was talking to the guy at Dan Murphy's actually about it, and he said that it was third in last year's craft beer, for the top 100 craft beers across Australia.
Was it their first time entering? Is that why it's called the New Towner?
Well, I don't know, but I know that 1 and 2, 1 was Bolter and 2 was Stonewood Pacific Ale.
Yeah, right.
So this is number 3. Now, I like all those beers, and this is really good. So
yeah, I'm actually...
Hit up the Young Henrys, guys.
I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm very thoroughly impressed. So for me, the only change was I got rid of Collins. I brought in Darcy Moore just because I have faith in him playing on the field, so I figured it would be more points on field. Which to an extent it was because I put Clark on the bench. I probably made an extra 14 points this week. But then Collins scored the exact same as Moore anyway. So except at this, being 1-1, 2 games with Collins, I was like, I can't trust you on the field. Which means that I'm paying a guy getting 65 when I could be getting a guy getting 80, 85. So, look, I made my one trade and I'm not upset by it. I think more will,
You were wrestling with it all week.
I did, and I waited right until the late changes because I wanted to make sure he was named. And then apparently he went and copped a knock and went down for a bit.
He did go down for probably 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, and I thought I've jinxed him, boys. Yeah. I've put the hex on him.
He came back, it was an ankle, and he came back out and he played really well.
I put the hex on him, Chris. Anyway. I think we're pretty much, that sums us up. Let's have a quick little look over onto the Twitch and then we'll get into the round reviews.
Shout out to the guys that are in the Twitch chat there. Chris Simo, how you going, mate? We've got Chris Butler says 3 votes Chris Judd. And Nick Vass says, good evening, lads. So good evening to you as well.
Does that mean 3 votes for me because I'm wearing Chris Judd's signature? Is that what that's all
That's I'm pretty sure.
I don't know why I'm touching my chest right here.
And shout out to our new followers that we have had during the week. We've had some more people follow us on Twitch, which is cool. So Pete Lurie followed us, and that was only just like an hour ago. So thanks very much for that. By the way, this is what happens when someone does a donation. It's pretty cool.
Miracle on grass.
You'd love that. You must be high now with Brisbane at the moment. But should we get straight into the round review?
Wait till I get into the Brisbane round review. Oh my god!
Look, I'm happy because I actually unfortunately missed the game. Missed watching the game.
I was giving you highlights. I'm like, Rockliff's down.
Yeah, and I was messaging you about the Collingwood West Coast game, and then so
that's true. That is true.
All right. Each to their own, I suppose.
Well, let's get into it because I probably didn't watch too much of the Sunday games except from what I heard.
Okay.
I was balls deep in assessment, so to speak.
Yes. Well, fortunately for me, this week I actually managed to pretty much watch every single game.
That's good.
Much to the hate of my lovely partner.
Well, I had the screen up next to the computer, so I was listening to a lot of it. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep. Anyway, we'll get into it. So the first game was Adelaide and Geelong. A little bit of a surprise, actually. I thought Adelaide would win this at home, and boy, was I wrong. And Geelong just keep on trucking on. It's very interesting.
I tipped Adelaide too. I thought they were going to roll over the top of them.
Well, just at home, you can't kind of go wrong, and obviously you can go wrong. But I think Atkins.
So they say.
Atkins didn't lay a tackle. I think he still had a bit of that shoulder issue from the week prior, so he didn't. He actually did some good things. Kicked a goal. Should have kicked another. Basically, could have just waltzed in and kicked it through and missed. But I think his role's still there, his pressure's there. I just think with he had a bit of sore of a shoulder, tongue twister, and I don't think he laid any tackles or put as much pressure on as he could have. So I still think his role's pretty good. I just think for this score, it was just a lower score. I wouldn't take too much note in it. I hope he doesn't get dropped. I don't see why he should. I think he adds a lot of value to their team. But yeah, it's interesting. Matty Crouch started slow again. And pulled through late.
He did. He had a massive third quarter because I remember I watched this game afterwards.
You went
so I was at the old folks' home, my in-laws, so I couldn't watch the game, and I was watching the Broncos instead, and I was not very happy at the situation. But you do what you got to do with your partner. Anyway, so you're messaging me and you're saying, "Oh, dude, Crouch is having a bad game. And then you're like, "Dude, he's going massive in the third quarter. Like
he started so slow again, and then he just went on this massive run and went I don't even know what it was. It was 50 or 60 points in a quarter or something. He just went massive.
I watched it, and his impact in that quarter was insane. But he was on the
end. That
of,
was when they were fighting back.
He was on the end of every handball chain that went inside 50. Matt Crouch is kicking it. He had a couple of goal assists as well. He kicked a goal from outside 50 with a mark inside 50. So, those obviously are really big point generators. Matt Crouch for a long time has been the sort of guy that will rack up 4 disposals but only get you 110. because he's not very effective with his disposals. And what I found in that game was in the third quarter,
he's actually been a lot better.
Complete opposite.
Well, he's been a lot better this year in general. Even then, like 27 disposals. Matty Crouch, 27 disposals, and he went 119. So going at 77%.
That's not normal for him to score so high off so little disposals.
I think he's been a lot better.
Yeah,
he's been a lot better this year.
Well, it bodes well because what that means eventually, hopefully, is that he's stealing. When he gets his 40 possessions or 38 possessions,
yeah, he'll be big.
It should be a 150, 160 instead of a 120.
I'm actually regret not starting him a little bit over Oliver.
Yeah.
I knew D's had a tough start to the year. I just didn't expect them to fall over themselves as well. So,
it's their own fault.
And Oliver's still been okay. But Matty Crouch was the one guy I wanted to get in. Lockie Neal was...
I'll get into Melbourne in the Melbourne podcast, but one thing I've noticed that Max Score's not tapping to Oliver anymore for some reason.
Maybe they had a fallout.
No, I like maybe it's positional. Maybe he's not getting it, or maybe it's just the pre-season he had and... whatever, but it looks like they're not tapping his way anymore.
If you're going to say, let's just talk about the Melbourne's podcast, then you should probably just stop it there.
Just do it in the Melbourne podcast?
Just do it in the podcast.
So they say.
I mean, your words are not that important to just skip the scenarios.
Fair call. Sammy Menegola got a nice little 115 to reward people that started with him and hopefully didn't trade to Tim Kelly.
Oh, Menegola looks good. His defensive work actually working back through. Tim Kelly, 71% time on ground, 107. He was tearing up and then he literally tore himself up. His ankle. So Scott didn't mention anything today about him, so it looks like it's... I mean, he said, I think he looks pretty good.
Tim Kelly didn't rule him out, but they did rule him in.
But then Tim Kelly yesterday, I think, said he's still 50-50 as to when he's, if he's playing. So, look, I hope for his sake he doesn't get up. That'd be nice.
Just so he can have a nice...
So by his sake, I mean my sake. It's all selfish.
Well, I hope he plays, but... Because, so there's two ways. If you've got Tim Kelly out there, I don't know if you want him to play or don't want him to play because I think regardless of if he comes back or not, it's going to be a Isaac Heaney issue where he's probably going to be either A, changing roles or B, playing midfield for a little bit, but he's not able to run out a full game on that ankle. So he's either going to do that because there's no way he's fully recovered. No chance. So it's either that or it's we miss a week, get him back fully fit for next week. And so what would you prefer as a Kelly owner? I don't know the answer to that. Because you probably, if he plays this week on an injured ankle...
Probably evens out a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, over the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's probably going to be the same. He's going to have maybe a slightly role change. He's not going to be able to impact the game as much. I don't know if it's his kicking foot, isn't it?
Oh, don't
as well.
Me.
So,
I don't know which foot he kicks.
His disposal could be off. I think it's his... Yeah, I'm quite positive he's right-footed and it was his right ankle. Don't quote me on that. I have to see another photo.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you've got a couple of ways to look at that. Would I be trading in Kelly if I was looking at a trading option?
No.
No way. You can't do it right now. You're better off waiting 4 weeks. He's probably going to drop in price over the next few weeks and then get him as one of your upgrade targets in, say, round 7, round 8.
I don't mind that option at all. Dangerfield, 128. He actually started off massive and then slowed up.
It was up to, I think, almost 80 at half time. So he was
definitely on track for like a 140 plus. He was going big.
You were tweeting about it. You're like, it's going off.
Yeah, who's not on VC? And then next minute it's like 128 and it's that awkward where you should take it, you want to take it, but you're like, McRae's versus Gold Coast. They should flog them and then the Gold Coast win.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, look, very interesting is also Dalhouse again pumps out another 105. Kicked 2 behinds as well. I think he gave away a couple of frees and tackled a lot, but another 100. So
another 100 for
that's got to annoy
Dalhouse.
You big time. Yeah, the house.
Yeah. Look, it does annoy I think everyone, but I mean, look, he's burned so many people over the last 3 years. It's about time he came back into the fold. The one thing I'll say about his role is it's not the same as it was last year at the Dogs. He's playing higher up the ground, which means he's getting a lot more involved on the wing and even pushing to half back for relief when kicking out.
So he's in more scoring chains and he's definitely laying the tackles though.
He is. And inside 50, what he does is roll inside. So he rolls into the pack inside to put tackling pressure on, but he's outside on the half forward flank when they're moving the ball forward. So that's great for a role perspective because for the last couple of years, he's played in a pocket in the Bulldogs forward line as not like the main...
Hey, I'm a small pocket.
Yeah, which is not... And he's not really... Don't get me wrong, he's a good small forward, but he's not really a crumbing forward. That's not his go. He's a pressure tackle forward who can accumulate the ball. So can he stay, say, those numbers? I can't say no, but I'm inclined to think that it's probably a low 90s average. So you're going to get value out of him if you started him, but if you start trading him in at this point,
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not confident that's a great move.
I am with you. I've actually seen a couple of people bullish enough to say that he's going to be like 100 average, which is stupid.
Oh, I can't see that.
I can't see that at all
I don't
either.
think it's going to be many at that.
Mitch Duncan, actually, I thought was very interesting, and he's 100% silky smooth, always has been.
Super pod.
He went 118 and he only had 22 disposals.
Yeah, because his disposal's just elite.
His disposal's elite. He doesn't need to jack steel tackle people for those numbers.
That's it. He's actually only in 1% of teams in 1,400 teams. So massive
Duncan?
POD. Yeah.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, huge.
Let's talk about Laird. I know we spoke off air just a little bit between Laird and Miller and Brodie Smith. Brodie Smith actually didn't have the worst game. He had 15 kicks and 7 handballs. Clangers.
Unbelievable amount of clangers.
Clangers turned over, because Geelong's pressure was really high.
Can you have a look at how many? I think it was about 7.
I think there was a lot of clangers, including there's at least a few direct turnovers.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, a lot of turnovers.
Well, Geelong's pressure was so high, and Adelaide were not giving him the outlet, and he's just bombing it long, and then it would just turn over because he's under pressure. So he's like, I'm under pressure. I need to kick the ball. So he just goes roost.
And the other problem
Geelong
with him,
just get it.
well, when he does try and clear the lines, he's got such a long kick over him that he clears the zone. But the only person on the back of that zone is a Geelong player.
So I don't think Adelaide helped him that much. He didn't help himself. But for me, 68, that could have easily been like a 90 game, except he just butchered it. So I'm not concerned at all.
I'm not concerned about him, but I'm concerned about my one decision that I really fucked up in the preseason, and that was, and I think I was justified with it.
Mason Cox?
No, that was last preseason.
Oh, the other fucker.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. This guy.
I had an option, and I went the wrong way in my team, and I had an option to either go M7 Libba or
I went the same way.
Or D4 Crouch, and I went for D4 Crouch, even though
D4 Crouch, M4.
D4 for me.
Crouch.
Oh no, sorry, no.
Crouch does not play.
Sorry, D4 it's Smith.
Yes,
or D3 actually, because I've got Moore as my other one, and he's cheaper.
Oh no, I'm 100% with you because they were the same price almost. So I actually did the same thing, and I actually went Lockie Neal and Fyfe and stuff. So I went 5 deep in the midfield. If I wasn't going to go so deep in the midfield, Libba was my guy.
I think still having 5 midfielders is the way. For a long time, for about a month, I had 4 premium mids and Libba, and it looked okay, but I felt unsafe the whole time knowing that I was only really 4 deep.
The only way you could do 5 premium mids and Libba is if you don't have Walsh. And Walsh has been a moneymaker.
I had him in there.
Jeez, you would have had a
because
forward line.
Well, think about it. If you just take Smith out of defence and put Libba in the midfield, then you just have you've still got a rookie on field in defence, which probably at this point would have been a Clark or a Scrimshaw, and then they're still going okay. You're not terrible. So that's the one. Like now we're in round 4 coming into this week. If I had to go back, I'd change one thing. That's what I would change.
Oh yeah, I'd bring Libba in for sure, 100%.
But also, and we'll touch on them in the game. But the role that he was playing was also very conducive, and the way that Gold Coast were playing him was very conducive to the way that he plays football. So we'll touch on that a little bit later.
Everyone on Twitch, how's that sounding?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it must be. I'm sure they'll let us know if not. Here we go. Bombers going to pump Brisbane Saturday.
Who said that?
Chris Simo.
Yeah, block that motherfucker. Just kidding, Simo.
Nick Vass.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, Lions they looked like they got ahead of themselves.
Nah, there's no way that Lions lose this week.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Where are they playing? Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Not on a flat deck.
I know they'll play well there, but Lions might get ahead of themselves, although Essendon might be like, yes, 1 win, we're set for the year.
I'll be impressed. I mean, Essendon, again, they didn't really play that good this week.
Lions didn't play well at all.
I mean, you could talk about Melbourne's lead defence, but Essendon still leaked the almost same amount of goals.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, Brisbane will chop them up. Chop them up like
anyway,
Libba.
All good. Traded Mundy for Kelly. Of course, Mundy gets 110. Never trade Primos. I don't think that's necessary, Nick, was the wrong decision there, but...
you never know, but based on what he put out the first 2.
And also, he only really started scoring when Fyfe went off. Like, he was scoring before,
but he was
okay. Yeah, he was doing okay, but he really started scoring.
Count your chickens, you didn't lose any money. At least that's a positive.
Yeah, right.
So, could be worse.
Perfect.
You could have Tom McDonald.
Rolled ankle, 9-day break, he'll score 100. I don't know about that, mate. He's talking about Tim Kelly.
Yeah, Tim Kelly. Well, I assume.
And I don't think it was it wasn't just a roll. It was worse than that. But a roll, you'd just be able to come straight back on. So see if you're still 50-50 to play, it's not just a roll. Evening, gentlemen. This is from Sir Black Knight. Hey, Ando, how you going, buddy? I forgot daylight savings had finished.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, so now everyone's back onto our 7 o'clock time frame, which is
probably
great.
a better time for everyone, really.
Yeah, it's better for us, but probably not for
Chris.
for
It's the same time for us, you idiot. Still 7 p.m.
Barbecue Barb says, turn it up. It's Cristiano says it's good. Max volume. Oh, turn the siren up. Okay, cool.
Right.
Max volume. No, that's not going to happen. Clangers all weekend. Smith. Yep, with Smith. Yep, and Warple as well. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Awesome.
Put that timer on, Chris. Hang on.
Round. You always beat me to the next round, mate. You always beat me.
I'm a guzzler.
All right, let's get back into the next game. We've just started the next one again. And the next game was
Melbourne and Essendon.
So, yeah.
So the game.
So good to see Gorn come back with a 126 again.
Well, can I just say, Chris? I was having custom-made spring rolls on this Friday evening with my my Mrs. parents and sister and stuff like that. And I actually missed the first quarter, and then I turned it on, and I was like, Essendon absolutely slapping Melbourne. I was like, oh my God, I tipped wrong again. It was so bad. I was like, how can they start so bad, Chris? I actually want to know.
I don't know, but
I need to go back and analyse because it was horrible.
It's definitely their defensive structures, 100%. Because
Frost.
McKernan kicked 4 and he hasn't kicked any all year. You had McDonald, Tip and Woody kicked 4 as well. And then who else kicked 4? Stringer. Now, Stringer actually played really well. Yeah, so I'll give him that. But the other two have been so out of form that playing Melbourne apparently just puts you into form. The other thing that I want to say as well, and I want to say this early, Zach Clark and a lot of Bombers fans are actually tearing Zach Clark to shreds. And I have no idea why, because he didn't play terribly. He did burn some people in the goal square that probably should have given away a goal and then missed the goal. But I don't think he played terribly. I think he played as well. He'll be playing this week.
He pretty much got someone jump up on his hip to get a bit of a half specky.
It's his first game into
what I find funny
football.
Is that they're ripping on Zach Clark, but have you looked at the rest of your fucking team?
Yeah.
Like,
plus, he's playing, dude.
Like,
when he was in the ruck,
why get angry at one guy who they got for free, mind you?
Yeah.
Absolute free to help fill your side out.
I thought he was a better one-on-one ruckman than what Tom Bellchambers was against Gorn. The minutes that he had in the ruck were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But he didn't get many. Tom Bellchambers literally took the bulk of minutes in the ruck. Clark had very minimal time that he could actually show what he was capable of. I think he needs more ruck time. I think there could potentially be a really big battle for their number one ruck soon, because like Tom Bellchambers has been serviceable, but at some stage during the season, guaranteed he gets injured, and Clark comes in and I think he could secure a number one spot. So we'll see how that goes. But
60% of the time, Chris, it works.
It
every
does.
Time.
Brayshaw, also I was on the watching this heavily because of the Brayshaw versus Oliver thing.
Yes.
Brayshaw again, man. I tell you what, the amount of times he gets the ball and just bombs it long without even looking. He doesn't look. He's got no game sense. He's got no idea where he kicks the ball, and he just hopes that he hits a contest. And if it doesn't, I don't know if that's just a skill that he's never learnt as a footballer, but he just does not seem to know like where to kick the football or like how to hit someone in the lead. Like it's strange.
Well, I think it's pretty simple, Chris. Really, see ball, win ball, kick ball.
Those three he can do.
Cross your fingers.
He can
and hope.
He can smash that part of it.
And hope.
You know what else he does really well? He does spread from the contest really well. So I really like Brayshaw's spread. And by the way, I saw him on the footy show.
Not just say that. You even repeated yourself.
I don't care. I'll say it again.
Spread.
I love Brayshaw's
spread. That is such a weird...
I hope he finds this out too.
That is such a weird term, and then you repeated yourself.
So there's so many aspects to his game that are absolutely amazing, but it's just that one thing. And if he could just focus on better decision making and better kicking, he would be amazing.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what he should do?
He would win a Brownlow.
In his off season, I think him and Treloar should get together for a little bit.
Maybe he doesn't need two-way boots because he's pretty good at tackling, but maybe he needs flat sole boots.
And by Treloar and Brayshaw spending some time together.
No laces.
I don't mean Treloar teaching him a thing or two. I mean they both need to learn a thing or two. Anyhow, let's have a look at it. The funny thing about Brayshaw is he had 34 disposals and he kicked a goal.
Yeah.
Went huge in fantasy, like 129. Only got a 108 or so in SuperCoach.
Just kicking.
He only played 69% time on ground.
Yeah, and you got a large amount of possessions as well in junk time that didn't score much.
69% time on ground.
Yeah.
If he played 80%, do you reckon they would have won?
I don't know if he's got the capability to play at his level, the way that he spreads, the way he does with high percentage time.
Maybe he overheats
at this point.
Maybe he overheats with the headgear and he needs some vents.
This isn't another thing. By the way, how long do you think it is until the AFL enforces mandatory headgear?
Ooh, 2026. I reckon it's about 7 years away.
I don't know, man. I think they're coming to a head in this pretty soon.
Maybe they'll just wear actual, like, proper helmets like the NFL.
Nah, that's not going to happen. But I can see a system like that, or a corporation like the AFL adopting a best practice policy, because that's what the AFL is all about.
Chris, that's horrible. You might as well just start breeding. That makes no sense either. So there
I
you go.
should start breeding.
Yeah,
right.
You should start breeding.
Anyway, Oliver actually did play well, but just didn't get enough of it. As I said, it doesn't seem like he's getting many of those hitouts to advantage his way. It seemed like he was a little bit out of position at times. But he just managed to scrape a 95. Like he just worked and worked to get you 95.
And
so,
let's not forget they also lost. So
yeah. And I imagine that he's 3-round average. I mean, it's not terrible anyway.
I think he's averaging like 1 and change.
Let's have a look here. It's
100 and something.
Average,
it's a low 100. 102. Yeah.
It's not terrible. You can't really. I mean, you can be upset because you paid top dollar for him.
Well, yeah, I could have paid 300,000 for a guy averaging 120.
But there's every chance this week he comes out and busts another 140. So are you really upset? And then all of a sudden he's averaging 115. Like,
no, I'm not upset.
No one really cares.
I just wish he started a bit better than he has. That's all. But what do you do?
So I mean, he's low. Yeah, I mean the 71 really kills his average.
But Melbourne not winning doesn't help because, as you know,
that's got to turn around.
If you win games, you score.
Yeah, I mean, defensively they're just at all ends. Yep. There were so many times, especially in that first quarter, where Donald Tupamudi was just in a pocket on his own.
I'll tell you
why. It's like no one knew who was on him.
Well, Oscar McDonald and Frost are absolute muppets.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Absolutely.
Frost needs to be dropped. Muppets. I can't believe he's still in the AFL side.
Hibbard. My draft Smokey of such good value is averaging 51.5. He is horrible. He'll probably get dropped. He is horrible.
The one shining light in the defence this year has been Bailey Fritsch, in my opinion. I think he's actually played really well, uses the ball well, makes good decisions, takes great marks. He's played really well. He's not averaging fantastic for SuperCoach, but he's actually playing really well. Salem as well is not playing terribly, but I think that he's not really a defender first and attacker second. He's an attacker first and a defender second, and that's not what they need in their defence. So, Melbourne guys, I'd love to say that it's going to turn around for you, but with Stephen May being, the way that he is and not coming back, and he's probably not going to be back in the scene for another 2-3 weeks, I'd say. You're going to struggle. And you've got teams that
It's interesting.
Now they look like a target. That's the issue. So now Melbourne have a target on their backs. These guys are easy beats. All you have to do is get out the back and you'll run over the top of them. Essendon just showed that that's exactly what you have to do. You can just outscore Melbourne.
Well, I think it's interesting. Melbourne 0-3. But that being said, I actually still think Melbourne can make the top 8. I am not lying.
No, so do I. They've got to fix up.
They've got a lot of work to do. So. Shane83 on Twitter, I did see your message. We'll respond to that when we get into the Dogs podcast as well.
Beautiful.
So, yes, well, let's speak about Essendon. I think it was great to see Zach Merritt returned with the 120. So I know
a tagged 120, might I add.
Yeah, he tagged during that game. He actually did quite well.
Yep.
And
so he had a run from Harms during the game and pulled through with absolutely amazing colours, and it is looking strongly like he could return to the top 10 this year.
Yep. So I did tell Wally to hold steady, and he listened. So he was very grateful at that point in time.
Yep.
I just said he wasn't dire. I like the Dusty Martin one, although Dusty now looks a bit shady as.
I'm actually impressed that they've stuck thick with David Zaharakis playing as much mid-time as he is.
I know, right?
Which, I mean, to me, he's on the outside of their best 5 midfielders. He's the last.
Do you know what's interesting? Parrish has just gone bang, bang and averaging like 93 or something over 2 rounds.
Yep. No, good on him.
So I think that's very interesting.
What's really strange and what they really need to tidy up, in my opinion, is Devon Smith's midfield time needs to be higher. They have lacked a lot of their tackle pressure inside, and the reason that is, and this is why I don't understand the dynamics. So you got someone like Zaharakis getting bulk mid minutes, but you've got someone like Devon Smith playing way too much forward time.
Yeah, he's
that
playing
needs
way
to
too much.
change. And I know that they lack forward pressure, and that's why they probably want Devon
Well,
Smith there.
I think if you started Devon Smith, you've probably felt like you've been sold a half a lemon, to be honest.
Yep.
His role, he's getting 15 touches and he kicked 2 goals. 15 touches, kicks 2 goals. Do you know what I mean? And
you
laid.
pass me round 2,
and
baby?
laid. Oh, you're finally, mate. You're moving up in the world.
Thank you very much.
And what he scored, like 102. So
Yeah,
that's like
having said that,
that's a good score for.
having said
15
that, he
possessions
was
and a couple
off for
goals.
20 minutes. He had a
hit?
he had a concussion test, which
Okay.
so apparently, and I didn't know this, but this is great to watch after the game. He was asked about his concussion test, and it's now mandatory that there's AFL doctors at every game, and
If
they
they-
actually decide whether
Yeah.
or not you're going for a concussion
Yeah.
test or not.
Well, I think they look at how you responded, and then
Yeah.
they actually go back and look at the
They
footage.
look at the footage, yeah.
And then if they look at the footage and you might be concussed, hey mate, come on, you're over here.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually his call, which is
No.
strange in itself, but
No,
it's not
well,
the club's
never,
call.
No,
Yeah,
it's never their call because
Yeah.
the clubs will be like, oh, this is a big moment, and you need to get on the field, and then the doctors had the
Yep.
final say. So
Dylan Shield completely muffed the football. I think he kicked it like 40% for the day. He actually had a lot of the ball and was playing amazingly.
yeah,
but
31
because
disposals and kicked 2 behind. So
Yeah.
and
That could have been a 140.
it could have been huge.
Could have been massive. So
But, he could have also been at Hawthorn. So
that's also true. Now let's quickly, before we've obviously just expired the siren there, lads.
I know these first 2 games were definitely a bitch worthy. Like
Definitely.
you need to vent a little bit.
Let's have a look here where we've got here. We've got
Past that.
If you're wearing an Eagles jersey, you should drink Emu Export. Emu Export. Maybe that's something we'll.
I know. Send us a link.
Send us a link and let us know where you can get it from over here in Brizzy.
Send us the link along with a donation, and we'll have a look.
Oh, just a cheeky little plug there. Thank you for the donation. Oh, McKernan got 4 as well. Yeah, I did say that McKernan got 4.
I think McKernan got injured, didn't he?
We've got Chris Simo says, so McKernan's unfortunately out for 6 to 8.
Yep.
Which means you're not moving Clark. Clark's not going anywhere.
I think he'll well, especially no, I don't think he will go anywhere because the Lions will be playing 2 talls.
No, exactly right.
Yeah, so I think they'll need him this week more than
They
ever.
will need Clark, 100%. So Chris Simo says, do you think I should go short down to Lockhart so I can get Boak in this weekend for Gibson? If there's a way that you can go short to Boak, that's the way I would do it. But I wouldn't
burn 2 trades.
I wouldn't
to
burn
make it
2
happen.
trades to do it if you can't. So if you can do it creatively,
it's a tough one. Yeah.
He just sends through a link. Excellent. We'll have to have
Wonderful.
a look at that for you,
I'm
mate.
waiting for this donation.
Oliver needs to get a haircut. He looks.
Yeah. Tell you what, that's one of the
Very cool.
worst. That's one of the ugliest haircuts to go with one of the ugliest mugs I've ever seen.
Yep.
I'll tell you what.
And West Cats03, hi guys. Loving how you guys have gone to the new level this year. Oh, thanks very much, mate. That's really appreciative. We hope that we've interacted with the community a lot better.
Well, we have actually gone to the 2nd floor, so that's
We are.
probably
We're upstairs at my townhouse.
It's the new level.
That is true.
Yeah, metaphorically and literally.
JR Stiff says, loving the hair. Parting the grey seas. Thanks, mate. It needs to get dyed. So thank you very much for that. That's great. Thanks, JR Stiff.
Tell you what, you should see it when he bends over.
Now, hot off the press. For those of you guys out there that do follow SuperCoach Elites, or for those guys out there that also...
I saw this, Chris.
Yeah, you did.
I was not involved in this conversation,
No,
but I saw it.
I told Stonesy about it, so it's all good.
No. Oh, yeah. Admin Stonesy. Yeah, go tell the people.
So if you listen to their podcast this week, you would already know that they were, towards the end of their pod, they were getting into their preseason top 10s that they did with us. I had a chat to Corey afterwards, and we're going to do a joint podcast over the next couple of weeks sometime. And we're going to revisit our top 10s that we made and our preseason predictions, update them based on what we know after round 5 and 6 before you start trading in your first round of premium selections from your downgrade targets.
I think that sounds like a very good process.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. And there's going to be a lot of banter, and it's going to be even funnier than the first one. So,
Although the problem is that Lockie Weller's actually come out with 2 big scores of a 92 and 108 or something. So
I know he has.
I know he started off the first game horrible. You dumped him.
I traded him out.
You dumped
55.
him.
I'm like, nah.
You dumped him. He plays
Terrible
well.
idea.
I pick him up, and then he gets 100. Loving
We're
life.
talking draft process here, guys. This is
I'm
draft.
picking up his scraps because I'm horrible.
That's true.
Anyhow, let's move on to this next game. Chris, have you put the timer on? Carlton and Sydney.
Good idea, sir. And we are go.
We are a go. Number 1, Walsh. Sammy Walsh, absolute jet. Absolute jet. And here's the funny thing. When I was watching this, he has legs. He
slowed down the last quarter.
No, he has legs
he
for
could have gone
days.
bigger.
Do you know why he slowed down, Chris? First year player, third game in, plays 90% time on ground.
That's fair.
90% for a first year player. And guys, Sydney didn't even want to go with him. Parker's on him, Kennedy's on him, and he's running, and he's got legs for days. He's a jet.
He's going to outrun them because they're old.
So he's with Kennedy, and he gets in and he goes, I can't
never going to happen.
I can't make this contest on the wing, so I'm just going to push through the middle of the ground. Keeps on working. Kennedy's looking at him going, stop. Like, stop. And then
it was never going to work.
Walsh,
that was in the first quarter.
And then Walsh runs into the forward 50, gets a mark, and kicks his first goal.
He kicks the goal.
Oh, he's got legs for days.
Would have been better if that goal was last week, Paulson.
Yeah, Paulson. Fucking Paulson. Literally, just an absolute jet. Absolute freak. So amazing to watch. Literally ridiculous. And the Sydney guys didn't want to run with him. They didn't pay them the respect. And they could not keep up with him.
Could have been bigger.
Could have been.
Like, he's kicking...
Give him time.
From his preseason kicking, I thought was a little bit better than his current level. But, I mean, that's JLT versus AFL. He's kicking great, but I think he's got another level to go with his kicking because it's so good. But he's just a little bit rushed at times. I think he's going to be one of the greats, and I think he's going to be in everyone's SuperCoach team for the next 10 years.
Well, yeah, and speaking in SuperCoach sides for the next 10 years, Christian Butler, I have offered you Higgins, the Snag Master, and my first 3 picks in the Keeper Draft League next year for your last 3 picks. So you better get at me and respond, boy.
Is insane.
I have given him I've literally given him Higgins. As in, I've offered Higgins plus my first 3 draft picks next year for his last 3 draft picks.
Dude, that's crazy.
I want him, Chris. And I said, don't bait me. I was like, I'm trying to act real calm. And then this morning I woke up, I was like, fuck it. Give me, boy.
You love trading.
I want him.
You're that guy that wakes up in week 3 and goes, I want to trade.
I want to be the first guy.
I want to
be the first guy to trade. Anyway, Patrick Cripps, if you don't have him in your side with the other 50% or whatever that have him, you are hating on life. He is monstered. He is also my captain choice for this week against Gold Coast. They don't have a matchup for him. He will beast everybody in that side.
I mean, the thing is, Bose played really well last week, and he's been restricting some of the bigger guys.
Bose and Fiorini, and yeah, sure, Bose pushes forward. He's a great guy. He was my smoky pick.
No, but I mean, he played on Fyfe, and he restricted him, relatively for the day. Still got 124, but he's not going to go massive. I can't see Cripps going huge against Gold Coast.
Fyfe didn't want to play that game. He didn't fight. He did not fight. It's like literally
he was a bit lethargic until the last quarter.
He got put in like a baby seat bloody seatbelt, and he didn't even fight to get out of it. He could have literally just gone pop and busted a nut, but no. Nat Fyfe just went, all right, yeah, we're winning.
Well, I'm gonna have Lockie Neal, and you can have Cripps, and we'll see who wins.
Nah, I'm going. Here's the thing.
We'll talk about it later?
Yes.
All right.
Here's the thing. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, right. Christian, give me that boy.
Now, I'm still impressed with Sam FC. You can get a lot of mid-time, starting in centre squares at centre bounces. So they're wanting his clearance magic. Zach Fisher around the ground has been amazing. I
can't believe I let Petrovsky sitting down on my side.
I know.
In draft?
Well, I've got him in one of my draft leagues. Zach Fisher, I think next year, it's probably not this year. I think he's absolutely going to explode next year. So I'm hoping that he's still going to be forward, but I reckon he's going to be only midfield next year.
Can we address the elephant in the room, Chris?
Me or?
No. Well, elephants are grey.
An elephant never forgets.
Short sleeve Simpson.
Bad.
Has he fallen off a cliff or
He's playing a different role.
It's been like short sleeve Simpson.
I mean, maybe it changed this week because Newman turned the ball over so much it's not funny.
Well,
Newman couldn't kick the ball to save his life this week. He still had like 25 disposals and only got like 60 SuperCoach or something stupid.
Chris,
what was it?
I think he's a week away.
68.
Chris, he is a week away. And I'll tell you why he's a week away. Winter is coming next Monday.
Is he
after that, long sleeve?
A whim away, a whim away, a whim away.
That was a Game of Thrones reference, and you just shat in my face.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Long sleeves will be out after, not this weekend, but the one after, because winter will be arriving on Monday.
I respect you for the Game of Thrones reference.
Well,
I can't wait.
You're too busy trying to do Lion King.
I'm a little bit conflicted at the moment. My two most favourite things are happening this month. And it's...
Carlton is a very SuperCoach relevant side, Chris. Can you get back on track, please?
But I want to talk about Avengers.
No, you are not talking about Avengers.
All right.
Okay,
Fair
so let's just quickly move through. We've spoken about short sleeve Simpson. Setterfield, 37, 13 disposals, 2 behinds. Was not that impressive. Did not do much in the first half.
He got around the ball in the last quarter and started getting some disposals, but when he got it, he just bombed it or turned it over. And with like no time and space around him. So just clearing situation, turnover ball.
I'm not moving him out yet. They're versing Gold Coast this week. And
no chance.
If there's a side that he could
But
actually...
he won't be on my field. He'll be my
He won't be on my field. I think Parker's on field and he is off field based on averages and performance. But I still think against Gold Coast, though, he could... People get rid of him, and then bang, he'll pull out like a 90 or something stupid, which is always the way. All it is one big score in their cycle, and their price will go quite well.
Yeah, and I think he's the type that can pull out a big score, so I'm going to be holding him.
Yeah.
At least until round probably 5 or 6.
It's funny, though, because Setterfield, and we're all setting him on the bench. Which, maybe if you weren't so crap.
Absolutely.
Maybe if you weren't so crap.
Well, I went, my trade last week, so I made one trade last week in the end, and I went from Marty Hoare to Bailey Scott, and I had Xavier Dersma on my bench in midfield. Couldn't get him on field because I already had Butters, Walsh, and who else? Constable. So making that trade allowed me to get Scott onto the bench to make some cash, which Marty Hall's not doing and doesn't look like it's going to be doing. And then I got to field Dersma on instead of fielding Clark or Callum.
Yeah, I've got Dersma on field too.
So I mean, I gained 1 point, great, but what it has allowed me to do now is it allows me to go 3 deep rookies in defence and move Darcy Moore forward and then push Setterfield to a bench. So I'm now only fielding 2 forward rookies from now on instead of 3.
That's true. You'd rather Dersma instead of Setterfield.
Exactly. That's the easy.
Oh, can I just say, in this game, everyone has to have seen this surely, but Patrick Cripps wearing Papley as a jetpack. It was the funniest thing ever. Literally,
that was amazing.
Bang, picks him up. Papley's like faces down near Cripps' sweaty butt crack right here, and he still gets the handball off. And then they all have a laugh.
Chuckle afterwards.
Even all the crowd, you can see them. The crowd's just pissing themselves laughing, and you don't normally laugh that much at the footy unless
having a bit of a chuckle.
Of course you're playing Carlton. And then he puts Papley back on the ground, and then they just run off like nothing happened. It was the best thing ever.
So some interesting things about the high score on the Sydney side of things.
Yes,
Isaac Heaney. Can we just say
huge
cheers to Isaac? Cheers, mate.
Cheers to Isaac. And for
cheers to holding Isaac, like we told you to.
And Isaac now averaging 96.33, which sucked into everyone that got rid of him because...
Not even that. I mean, the way that he was played in the game was absolutely perfect. And he even played probably too much forward time, even then. But after...
Well, they did realise they were playing Carlton, Chris.
Well, no, it was injury-based. So they had someone come off for an injury, I think, during the third quarter.
McVeigh and Hayward. Yep. Broken jaw.
Yeah,
poor guy.
That pushed Heaney more forward time than he would than Longmire would have liked. But he still played 60% mid-time, 40% forward, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Right? I would prefer just a little bit more mid-time, but I tell you what, if you're kicking 4 goals, no one gives a shit.
Exactly, especially that banana. The banana. Oh, mate, perfection.
The goals that he kicked.
And the commentators were saying there's literally there's a 3% margin of error.
Yeah.
With that banana, and he just... slots it.
He absolutely killed it.
His hair is dreamy.
Play one of his... Oh, it's so dreamy.
Chris has nightmares of it.
And he also gave away a free kick and a 50 in the first quarter.
Yeah, huge. So and Lloyd as well is the other person. If you don't have him in your defence, if you pick Laird over Lloyd, you'd be crying in the corner.
Lloyd is the junk time king. I reckon he picked up 10 disposals in that game in junk time at the back end of quarters when they were just trying to close out the quarter. It was amazing to watch. Every time it's like, get Mark, kick, 20-metre kick.
Give it to the man.
And you know what's great? He doesn't generally go back with his kicks. So when he kicks...
So that someone kicks it back to him and then he loads it forward.
No, he doesn't load forward. He just goes like a little 20-metre, just slightly forward. Now, that's important because in SuperCoach, if you kick behind you don't get any points. So if you kick behind to an uncontested player, you actually don't get any points for it.
Ouch.
If you have to kick the ball either directly across to you, like a cross-field kick...
Yeah.
Or it's got to go in front of where you are. You've got to gain meters.
But you can't go behind,
If you go behind, you actually don't get any points. It's just like, okay, you just
cool. Yeah, catch you later.
But you do get points for, say, like an effective disposal, but you don't actually get a point for the kick. So that's the way that's championed out. And again, Bomps, if you're listening, that's actually true. Don't go, oh, I'm going to...
That's his running bounce rule that I've never heard of.
That's true. It's 100% true. You got to kick the ball in front of you to score maximum points.
Interesting. Zach Jones actually played quite a bit midfield as well. He actually looked pretty good.
And Longmire said after the game he really liked the fact that he was inside and could explode outside because he's got pace.
Yeah.
So that combination of inside toughness and outside pace is not common. So it's something that they do want to use more.
Well,
regularly.
he is a Jones, so there you go. I'm actually quite... JPK, I think, did quite well as well. 113 off of 31 disposals.
You know he's averaging? Because he's killing it for me,
He's actually doing really well.
114 he's averaging.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I love him in my draft team. People just literally left him.
Well, what's Parker averaging, though, to be honest? Because he got a 90, so...
You know what? Parker's actually getting way more mid-time than he usually would. Where is Luke Parker here?
He averaged 90, so there it is.
He's getting way more mid-time than he usually does get. So I'm not sure if that's because
95.
other people are playing forward.
95 average, okay.
It's not good enough.
No, not good enough. And Franklin, 61, last thing we'll touch on. 61 from Franklin, that's 3 dud scores in a row for Franklin, so he's going to be dropping cash big time.
No, because his 180 is just around the corner, right?
Well, I actually had him out of my top 10, remember? So you guys laughed at me for that.
But he came in
underdone.
Massively interrupted.
I know, but what's his average? 60? His average is horrible.
Well, he's the second highest drop.
64, yeah. So
the highest drop was Tom McDonald, I think.
Yeah, Tom McDonald went absolutely, bananas in a negative way. So, look, Franklin could actually be really cheap soon. And I mean stupidly cheap, like 300 and something K, which would be amazing. All right,
let's just quickly touch on this before we move on to the next game.
Yeah, we need to hurry up, Chris.
Just quietly, may as well wind up the SC Insider League 004 now because I've got it wrapped up. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I might be in that league, so you might have a battle on your hands,
Is that
mate.
draft or the other one?
No, this is one of our open leagues that we got. That we offered
I should probably check my leagues, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we'll have why don't you jump on the leagues and do a league update at the end of here?
As in where they're ranked? Yeah. Okay.
A lot of our leagues are ranked actually really quite well. Last week, I think 5 of our 6 leagues were ranked in the top 100. And our division leagues are going really well too. So those guys that are listening to us that are in our division leagues, shout out to you guys. Anyway, biggest early crow of all time. From Ice Truck Killer about the SC Insider Division League 4. All right, and Westcats 03 said with some of the rookies looking like stalling in money making, e.g. Gibbons, Scott, etc. Should we look at cashing in less as previous years?
Mate, we are killing it, Chris. We are killing it.
I know. I told you that our leagues are going pretty good, mate.
Oh, except for the Specky Cup one. Well, that's fair enough. Oh, my God. Our leagues are literally the Shazam.
Yeah.
All right, so a quick recap. Twitch League, ranked 215.
Yeah.
Supercoach 001, 148. Supercoach 002, ranked 28.
That's
003, ranked 118. SC Insider Div 1, ranked 31.
Hey, shout out to Div 1.
Out to Div
That's
1.
us.
That is us. Hey, I'm contributing. The A team is 169. We'll skip the Skeppy car. 004 is 41.
Yeah.
So we got heaps going on here.
Who's total?
005 is 504.
Go back to 004 and check out who's overall points leader.
399.
Who's overall points?
Is that 004?
That's the one. Yeah. Who's overall points leader?
Where is it? Points scored.
Can you do it that way? I don't even know.
Rankings. I don't know. Let's just go with.
Nah, you can't. No, that's only points scored while leagues are on. It doesn't really matter.
Meh.
Oh, good. Anyway, I like the early crow because I'm a big early crow man. Let's get on to the next game though because we've got a lot to cover, guys. GWS versus Richmond. The game was just, I suppose, was marred by the whole Dusty scenario thing. I don't know, man. When I watch there's 2 things about the Dusty thing which we'll touch on. First of all, the whole the gesture. I found that hilarious.
I think Mumford would too, being like, you bastard.
The thing is, and the reason why the AFL doesn't like it is because obviously kids are exposed to it, right?
Chris, this just in.
Oh, yeah?
Jorge has been flown to Sydney. There could be a late change tomorrow night.
I don't give a shit about that.
Jorge?
It'd be good if he did, but it'd be good for the guys out there that have held him. But I think he's probably just the holdover emergency, right?
Yeah, possibly. In case someone doesn't get up.
There's no way they don't, because they play tomorrow, don't they?
Yeah, well, here's my theory. Tom McDonald, I think they're going to play him in defence and Bruce up forward. That would be
That's what they should do.
That's what I would do.
That's
so therefore, if McDonald doesn't get up because of his dodgy ankle, then Jorge would then possibly play for him. So anyway, that's an interesting theory.
So I quite enjoyed. I thought it was hilarious at the time. I was texting you about it. I thought it was funny, but I can understand the AFL's stance on it. What I don't understand is that it's been replayed now over 1,000 times by every media outlet known to man.
Well, of course.
So
it's Dusty Martin.
You hit one.
He goes out for Chinese, and they make a story about chopsticks.
But here's the thing: you go you hit one section of people, Richmond fans and GWS fans. So one section of people, Richmond fans, and Richmond kids. Right? Understandable. Bad for Richmond kids.
And now they've shown it to 100.
They show it to every kid in Melbourne, and then we've seen it up here. It's on Foxtel. It's everywhere.
Well, it's such a bad look.
Australia's seen it now.
It's such a bad look when they're the ones promoting it.
Yeah, it's like and this is why
Hypocrites.
I can't stand the naturalistic media. I just don't. I hate it. Anyway, we'll skip past that. We'll go to the GWS side because there was a lot to love.
And injuries.
Jeremy Cameron, unbelievable. He had a bung. He was on one arm. Did you watch the game?
He was on one arm, and I'm even more upset the fact that I was like, even in our SuperCoach draft league, and I was like, oh, Jeremy Cameron's still available. And someone's like, thanks. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. And then they picked him up anyway. And then literally I got a message being like, hey, Ben, Jeremy Cameron, hey? Might have been Dave Swizz or someone or other. But Jeremy Cameron. And
7 goals, 30 disposals. That's best on ground. The next best on ground was Lockie Whitfield by far, but I tell you what, did someone go within 5 meters of him?
No attention at all. Literally, hey, there's Lockie Whitfield. And not only that, he was damaging.
That's the issue. So,
he's damaging.
Here's the difference.
How dumb are you?
So you can let Rockliff like that, or you can let... Yeah, there's guys in the league, you can let them rack the ball up because they don't really dispose of it that well.
Let Trelaw have 40 and he'll just kick it to your opposition.
100%. Yeah. You cannot let Lockie Whitfield have 40 disposals against you. There's no...
And expect to win a game.
You're not winning a game of football.
No.
He's way too good.
He'll cut you up like origami.
It doesn't make sense to me why that's happening. So... And what? So where did Richmond don't tag? I suppose is that's their thing. They play team on team.
They play a horrible team dynamic.
I can't. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, congratulate Lockie Whitfield. Amazing game. I think he had record number of disposals for himself in an AFL game. He played absolutely amazing.
What's he averaging now? 120.
126, I think. Oof. He's averaging high, because he had a 105.
Yeah, 126.7.
A 120, and then big game, 150. So, yeah.
Jeez, that game hurts, I tell you what.
So, look, and again, the one that I didn't have, and I wouldn't have picked him in preseason, but, hindsight's great. I would love to have.
Is he in your top 10 now, Chris?
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that all depends on if anyone gives a shit about whether they put someone on him. It was the same in the previous game against West Coast.
I find it funny that people are rushing to tag Daniel Rich, but then leaving Whitfield to have 100 meters of space, right?
It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me.
It's also because you don't have him.
He never has someone on him yet, and it's so frustrating, right? And
you have Lloyd.
It's okay. When you can't quite make out who it is, because I've got really bad eyesight. I'm like, I can't quite make out who it is, but that's lace out to a forward. Oh wait, it's Whitfield.
Yeah, that's a great kick from Whitfield. And you're like,
God damn it!
Again!
And you see the action replay of the 6 on the back, and I'm like, oh, I hate you so much. I hate you. Stop smiling.
I think if anything, Kelly and Caniglio in there. Sorry, I said Caniglio last podcast.
Yeah.
it's Caniglio. Caniglio now. I think he has to be, I reckon, enemy number 1. You need to tag him. I think then you need to tag Caniglio, and then you need to tag Kelly.
I think it's the opposite. I think Kelly will
get it inside and outside. Yeah. So I think you can. You might be able to negate him a little bit.
No,
but then, Kelly will still do well. Caniglio got absolutely rubbish.
You may not even need to tag Whitfield. You just need to put someone within 5 meters of him. Stop the cheap possessions and make him earn it. Don't get me wrong. He can still play contested football, which is fine.
Put Walsh on him. Yeah, that'd be nice.
But get him to a 20 disposal game where he needs to work for 12 his disposals.
And he'll get you a 60 SuperCoach.
I think it would be higher than that. But, I don't know. In my opinion, that's what teams should do against GWS. Caniglio, I think that he still works inside and out. But, because when you're in the clearances, Whitfield's not playing in the clearances. So sometimes, a player's going to have a great game just because they're getting clearances, and there's not much you can do about that to stop it. And that's why Kelly is so valuable. I mean, he comes in, Rolls Royce, 95 first game back, going half pace.
Yeah,
he's going half pace.
Hopper and Taranto also improving.
Yep.
Like proving, they've been killing it actually.
No,
Like maybe not so much for standard, but for draft.
Hopper's average though. Look at this.
Yeah, he's
going well.
I did say. Well, we did say
he's averaging 109 so far.
And we did say he'd probably fill out some of that slack from Dylan Shield.
Yeah.
He's an inside player, so he's probably getting some inside ball.
Guaranteed.
And he's actually been really impressive.
And Taranto's averaging a straight 100, which is what we said that's probably
and I actually thought Hopper might go 95, 100, and he's just come out absolutely gone ham. So, same as Lockie Neal. I was like, well, anyway, I thought he'd go all right, but he's gone absolutely bonkers to start with. So
now I just want to touch on Zach Williams because about halfway through this game, I was thinking about how I can get Zach Williams.
You were messaging me going
to Whitfield.
I wonder if I can get rid of this guy. If I can get rid of
You can't do it. It's a stupid thing to say, but that's what I was thinking about it. Now, one thing I will say is that Zach Williams is still massively underdone. That guy is unfit. Now, just AFL fitness level. He's just not up to AFL fitness yet. He's still coming back from it. He was blowing hard all game. The moment that the ball was not within range of him, he's on his haunches, like just trying to sucking it in, like really like struggling to keep on the field and to stay fit and to be able to run.
So he'll get better as he goes.
He will get better as the year progresses. He really struggled, and that's why he's had low time on ground.
Do you know what his time on ground was?
Like 70, I think, or
76.
76, which I think was the second lowest.
For a defender, you should be more like your high 80s, really.
And I think it was the second lowest on the ground. Quote from Dr. Supercoach podcast. I think Pistol said it was the second lowest on ground for GWS. So it definitely looks like he's still getting managed minutes. So for him to, and the thing is, like, he still scores well because of what he does with the ball when he gets it. So he gets intercept marks, he gets intercept possessions, he drops behind the ball. His kicking is really accurate and can go long or short and rebound from 50. So
yeah, Daniels went 74, he went 76, and obviously Sheridan was injured on 11%.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So he's definitely on managed time, and I think that will change as the year progresses. So I'm not touching trading.
Can we stack? Please, Stack.
Yeah, let's go through Stack because I think a lot of people are looking at him. And the important thing to note, did you watch the game?
He actually pushed defence when
Short
got injured.
So he was playing forward of the ball. Short got injured pretty early. I think it was within the first 10 minutes of the game.
It was early because his elbow just went.
Yeah, popped out.
Massive pop.
So and then he was pushed behind the ball. So Stack actually was moved from the forward line into defence because Short was injured. So
can they move him now though? He killed it.
Well, I'm hoping not. But you cannot trade him in this week because if
look what happened to
Hooley's back Hooley's supposed to be coming back this week, right? So what happens if they go? Okay, well, Stack, you're back in the forward line this week,
and Hooley, you're back in. He's killing. Hooley's killing it. Yeah.
Now Hooley's going 120, which
Catch you later.
That's neither here nor there, but. You can't be reliable that Stack's going to have that 108. And remember, it's only his system.
One
round of his price cycle.
Well, look at Scott.
Exactly right.
His break even's not that great anymore. He had 100 his first round, had horrible.
Yeah. Now, he's bought some job security, and they've got a lot of injuries. So I think he's got a bit of job security. But
I think we might have to bring him in next week. But
well, yeah. And so I'll be watching very eagerly this week to see what his role is. What he's going to be able to score.
It's also the Cummings of this year. Cummings last year, I actually brought him in. The first time ever I've brought in a guy early, and he gets dropped the week later.
It's not the first time I've done it.
Well, Cummings early, no.
But I did do it last year because I needed to.
Well, it's perfectly normal. That's what I tell them. Hang on, I shouldn't say them. That sounds really bad. That's what I tell her.
I'll ask Trina.
Just the one girl. That's what I tell her. Not them. Can't be plural.
A little Kane Lambert's having a little bit of a stretch in midfield time.
Did you see what happened the week before that, though?
What?
Kane Lambert was like one of the lowest scorers on the field. He was horrible.
He just floats in and out of good scoring, and that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, although maybe Cochin doing his hammy, he's out for 2 to 3, so that's going to be interesting for them.
They're just dropping like flies.
Well, Grig's not even anywhere near. He's still indefinite with his knee or whatever he's done. So.
Well, who are Richmond playing this week? Do you know? Let's bring it up.
Port Adelaide. In Port Adelaide. So it's Port Adelaide in Port Adelaide.
They're going to get rolled.
I can tell you that for free.
Richmond will get rolled. I can tell that for free.
Yep, 3, 2, 1. There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
You're welcome.
They're going to get rolled by Port.
Yeah, I think
no Cochin, no Martin, no Rewalt, no Rance.
Well, I think they're prepared for Richmond to really fight, but it's at Port Adelaide. I think Port Adelaide losing last week will maybe make them, not think that
by a better team. Let's be fair.
Don't stink, yeah, for sure by a better team. I can't wait to get into them.
There's not really much else to really discuss. I don't think many
Bolter,
people.
31 off 5 disposals. So for those who kept him, he may actually go for a little bit of a price hike. Hopefully, he has a good game in there somewhere.
What's his break even? He's got a 54 break even, bro. He's going to go. No, he's not. Is he? What's his break even? 24. So he might make a little bit of cash.
I reckon he'll make some cash. Well, if he plays 2 more rounds, once
he will play, but he's only playing because of the injuries.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Well, you give him a couple more rounds, and then when someone pops up, then catch you later.
He wasn't terrible, but his issue is not a consistent role. Start of the game forward, was moved into defence. No, start of the game to defence, was moved on to 2 different players because Jeremy Cameron was absolutely toweling up.
Yeah. Here, you have a crack.
Yeah, but he played a defender who went into the ruck to chop out ruck time. He actually played decent when he was in the ruck. So, and when he was in the ruck, then he's pushing forward and give him a role and say, hey, man, this is your role. I want you to own it. But they're just throwing him around everywhere, and it's just...
No, you know why? Because nothing's going well. So the coach is sitting there with his magnet board going, switch. What if I put him here? Maybe that'll clog the leak. Nope. Switch. No idea. And he's like, it's okay. We'll review it for next week. At least
they're trying things. Now,
oh, yeah, true.
We will get on to the next game, but I just wanted to quickly touch on our Twitch chat here again, guys. Here we go. So with some of the rookies looking like stalling in money, should we be cashing in less as previously is? Nah, you won't cash in less. Last year we had, can't remember how many rookies just stopped playing and had no cash generation. Like we were left on with,
so
1 or 2 on the bench at most and just trying to burn through those guys.
But we were very fortunate though for a lot of these guys that actually did quite well last year. Your Fritz, your other guys that lasted quite well. Your Finlaysons came in quite handy as well. We had quite a lot last year that really started. And Tim Kelly went bananas. We had an abundance last year.
I think this year, yes, the rookies on bench aren't scoring as well, but at least they're scoring.
Yeah,
which means they might burn.
You can't expect them to average 80s.
Yeah. All you need is 165 or 70. Get them a couple of weeks of cash gen, and then they're out.
Catch you later.
That's it. That's all you need. So everyone's playing. But I've got all the people on my bench currently playing.
Yeah, except for me. Yeah, I only got Jorge.
Yeah, well,
otherwise that's fine.
That's one. Yeah, man, it's a dream in most SuperCoaches.
I know, and I've only used 1 trade, and that was a luxury.
Yeah,
essentially
at this point to have 1 trade, to only be one trade used,
Fyfe may be out, so
and have only 1 player not playing. You can't complain about that.
No, I can't complain. I could have actually gone through without trading at all, but I decided to bring more in.
JR Stiff says, let's hope Bruce is not going to be a issue for Gawn. I don't think it's going to be because I think he's going to play more forward.
I think they need that outlet. I think they're not. Yeah, they're not.
And Ice Truck Killer says Bolter played better in defence. He did when he wasn't on Cameron, and then when he got shifted to Cameron, Cameron just towed everyone on the day. He absolutely got towed. So
it was a freak day, absolute freak day.
And Matey Patey said Brit Invasion, which I have no idea what that means, but cool. Thanks, Matey Patey. Now on to the arguably the match of the round, right?
Oh, mate, I can't. Oh, this one. You talking about my one or your one?
Your one.
Oh, yes, wonderful. Let me just skip on. But I thought you were segueing into Collingwood there, Chris.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Okay, so I was at this game. It was quite frustrating, to be honest. Lions started off bang, 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 and my interpretation of it was Lions' structures were really good. We were actually chipping through, and I think Port Adelaide, I could be wrong here, but it looked like they almost started zoning to start the game. Brisbane, again, that's what I think they do really well against Hawthorn and stuff like that, because Hawthorn have this zone. Brisbane, literally, they go back, they lead up, they do a short kick. Chip, get there through the zone, and then they start going absolutely nuts. We kicked like 4 or 5 goals, bang, straight up and early, and then what happened throughout the game after that is Port Adelaide went man on man. And they went man on man. So then we're like, well, we can't kick here. Or we can't really kick over here. We don't know what to do. So then they just kept going long. And they just slowed it right up. And then they'd try and turn it back over inside against someone there. They'd turn it over. They'd kick some goals. Zach Bailey, oh my God, frustrating. I had a look at his stats close to halftime. I think it was like 33 disposal efficiency.
33%.
33%. He had, I think it was like 3 clangers, a 50-meter penalty, and he also directly contributed to 2 goals with like a holding the ball. He literally dives on the ball.
So when they say he was injured, he got dropped.
I said he was getting dropped anyway. Literally 30 meters out, he dives on the ball. He gets done, holding the ball, 30 meters out, right in front of goal. And I was like, and then every time something went wrong, I was like, literally, I was like yelling out, "It's Bailey again! Bailey again!" Like, oh my God.
Did you have a few babies by this stage?
No, I didn't even. I only had like a couple. And I was like, Bailey, everything that went wrong.
I like when you get passionate.
He created the reason they were in it halfway was because Bailey was just absolutely doing so badly. Was not his best game at all. Normally he does okay. But Lachie Neale, you would not notice it from the grandstands how well he was doing. There was 3 of us Brisbane supporters because he gets all the the contested ball and then the handball.
Inside first disposal.
You can't really see it.
You can't see it sometimes.
So we're looking there. Half time, the guy next to me, Stuart, that's his captain in draft. He's like, "Oh, geez, Lachie Neale mustn't be doing that great." I look down, mate, he's on 80. He's like, "No fucking way." And then you see him get a couple of other balls. He's like, "Hey, there's Lachie Neale, he's killing it." He's like, but from the outside, all his work in close contested those handballs, which rack up heaps of.
So this is why Patrick Cripps scores so heavy, because I looked at about half time and you think he had like 7 kicks and 15 handballs, but he had X amount of clearances and it's the first disposal before a clearance,
that
like
contested ball,
and then the outlet scores big. That's what Patrick Cripps does. That's his
vision,
one word.
His vision though, like even the week before that when they were against North, he gets that handball and then bang, handballs it over somebody onto a Lions player running offensively.
Yep.
His eyes are just amazing, and I can't believe he's doing that well.
I can.
Well, no, as in
he's got a great ruckman
at the start
tapping
of the year,
to him, and they're targeting him.
They had Sandilands,
but they're
He
targeting
was always
him.
under 5.
So here's the thing. They're literally going to Neale at centre bounces and at stoppages. So, like, if there's 5 midfielders around, they're going straight to Neale.
Because he'll give it to someone else.
But he's not the one kicking. He's not the one exiting.
No,
he's getting the first possession.
Yeah.
Now, at some stage, they're going to stop that. So, I don't know if that's going to be this week. I don't know if it's going to be 5 weeks from now. But at some point, they're going to have to put someone in front of Neale and then someone behind him to stop that first possession clearance. Now, unlike Cripps, he doesn't have that big, huge body that he's going to be able to just muscle his way through regardless. So, it's going to be strange to see what's going to happen. I'm interested. And I tell you what, it's another chapter of this great book of the Brisbane Lions.
Well, he has been tagged before by Robbo and only got like a 50, I think. So, look, I think, but he started off crazy. I think going into this year, we did say Brisbane play a higher possession football than Fremantle do, and he was underneath Fyfe. So now we play better possession football, which he already racked up over 30. He averaged over 30 disposals.
He was averaging like 38 or something at the moment,
at the moment, he's killing it.
2 41s and a 35.
No, I think 2 42s and a something like that. 43, 42 and whatever.
Yeah.
Something like It's neither here nor there, but yeah, he's just killing it. The disposals that he gets are just crazy. He's
I'm a very happy Neale owner.
Oh, me too. He was one of the first picked, I think, in both of our sides, and I'm hoping a lot of you came along for the ride, to be honest.
One of the very few players that I literally never took him out of my side.
Yeah.
I considered flicking him onto Fyfe. I considered flicking him onto Caniglio.
Yeah.
Canelio. Yeah, no. And every time I thought about it, I was just like...
You know who was in my side as well all preseason? Matt Crouch. And you know who came in? Oliver.
Well...
Can't be that.
Matt Crouch actually replaced Dane Zorko for me, and
that's lucky. Zorko's not doing that great.
He's not doing terribly, isn't he?
No, he had
105.
He had 105, a 113, and then a horrible score of like 60. So he's
averaging 97.7, which is
it's okay.
I mean, that's pretty much on par with last year. But you know that he could explode at any time and get a 160.
Well, Rich as well started off pretty bad. People were starting ripping on all the Rich owners that brought him in. He ended up with a 101 average. This game, though, the way that they played it...
It's actually averaging 108.
Yeah, he's doing really well. But again, no one's paying him any attention at all. And the 666, I think, is kind of helping the way. They are using him a lot more.
Now, at the game, did you notice Josh Walker...
Intercepts that much?
Well, I didn't see the game, but I saw the stats.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
No, sometimes you look and you're like, bang, like, good on you, Josh Walker. Like, he looked really good. But at the same time...
Because I actually picked him in our draft league.
I wasn't expecting him to do...
I dropped him because he had a 50 in round 1. I was like,
I wasn't expecting him to do that well. But no, he is really pivotal to the side. But at the end of the day, the funny thing is, Lions actually led every quarter.
Yeah.
But they kind of... It looks like they're going to lose. Port They missed some horrible ones, though, mind you. They missed so many easy ones. Robbie Gray missed one easy. Westhoff kicked one out in the full and missed one. Probably one of the simplest kicks I've ever seen in my life. Bang right in front. Westhoff got towed by Walker. He also got towed by Harris Andrews. Anyone he got near, Andrews was absolutely dominating him. Westhoff, he's tall and lanky. He wants that reach up here, right? Guess who's better at that? Andrews. Andrews, like, bang, catch you later. Absolutely dominated him.
Speaking of Westhoff, down to 39. After he had a 149, a 47, and a 39.
Yep.
He's now, it's strange. He's in 15% of teams.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
That's because he's ruck.
I know, but can you believe 15%?
Well, here's a funny thing. I heard this on Dr. Supercoach, funnily enough. Imagine those that actually got rid of Grundy for him after round 1.
It might have been 10%. I reckon it went up 5% after round 1.
Ooh, you would have to hate life.
He's now averaging 78.3.
78 after a 140.
His break even is 214.
Oh, he's going down.
And how much cash did he lose this week? He must have lost cash.
Oh my god.
I think he was 540. What is he?
Go to the top. There he is in the red.
Oh, he's gone down 39k first week.
Oh my god, and he's
projected to lose another 54k this week.
That's so good.
If he hits a 78.
That's so good.
Well, look. So I want to keep an eye on him though, because he's one that you might want in the back end of the season. So keep an eye on him. He might be cheap enough to jump in.
Travis Brake absolutely looks stupidly impressive, and he's averaged 100 before in the midfield. I get that.
Robbo tried tagging him, didn't he?
Oh, run with a little.
They sort of went at centre bounces or at clearances.
Zorko and Rockliff were next to each other for a while. It was like the co-captain.
That's awesome.
But then they kind of just disregarded each other until Rockliff got knocked out.
Breeze, by the way,
mate,
it's fantastic. If you're seeing this vibration, it's got a live breeze happening.
It's very breeze-delicious. But I did tell when I was sitting there watching the game, halfway through the second quarter, Rosie looks absolutely phenomenal as a football player. Not only that, like it probably doesn't look like
situational awareness.
It doesn't look like it on TV so much, but like yes, his kick for goal was amazing. But then sometimes he would just burn off somebody. He's so quick, get it, stop on a dime, and then one time he actually led up the wing on the logos, gets the ball, and then literally just looks in the guys there and he just snaps it around the corner to his teammate and nails him. And we're all sitting there watching it, and I was like, straight away, like halfway through the second quarter, and I was he was killing. I was like, this guy's going to get rising star this week. Yeah, I was like, he is literally looking that freakish. I think he already kicked a couple goals. I was like, rising star,
which is impressive considering Sam Walsh got like 28 disposals.
Rising star this week, and then, well, that was early on, but I was like, rising star for this guy, and then after that, they slotted another goal. He was the reason Port were actually in it for so long, because every time something happened, I was like, number 20. I was like, it's Rosie again. He kicked like 5 goals. I was like, holy crap! And Hipwood kicked straight for once. As soon as he got it, I was like, oh, he's 45. He's like 40 meters out on an angle. He
had 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of the game, didn't he?
Oh, he was like 40. Yeah, he's like 40 meters out on an angle. I was like, oh, geez, here we go. Cross your fingers. Slots it every night. Like every time that night, just bang straight through the middle. I think he missed 1 goal, like 6-1.
Good on him. It's about time he did something
kick 6-1? Well. It was literally 6-1. There you go. How's that memory? Absolutely slotted it. Look, can't be unhappy at all. Lions, we pulled one out of the rabbit's hat, I think.
Before we move on,
Harris Andrews, though, by the way, more shutdown defense, did not score that well.
No, which I didn't like. But I also don't mind it because I don't have him, so
I don't have him either. But you look at Witherden, got a 92, so not so bad for him. Port Adelaide, Pal Pepper's actually come out with a couple of good scores this year, just quietly. That's not his first rodeo.
Can we just quickly retouch on Boak, because I think a lot of people are going to be looking at Boak.
They are.
As a potential trading target.
And going back to, who was it on? So Shane was wondering whether he should trade out Dunkley for Boak. Which, it's an interesting one. Like, I still hold faith in Dunkley, but not only that, Boak's actually gone up in price, Dunkley's gone down, so you need the money.
You'll actually...
Here's the thing.
If you don't have the money, you've got to make another trade to do it.
What grinds my gears, Chris, and I've said it to you, I've posted about it. I don't know why I'm so agitated this week. I don't know if people have gotten dumber in general. I think it's probably because I'm looking a lot more on Twitter, and that's not our community, that's people in general, PS. I'm not raging at you guys. But people looking at trading, literally, if I get rid of Gibbons down to Stack, then I can afford to go from Dunkley to Boak.
That's a massive
I was like,
trade.
so you're saying that Boak is worth 2 trades over Dunkley?
Yeah, it's not about the money. It's not about the 30k that you're going to make.
He has, what's he made? 22,000?
That's like so
what has Gibbons made? 20 grand. If one trade is worth 20 grand, then, I mean, Chris is next year's bachelor.
Which I could be. That's not going to happen. I'm locked up.
What? The Gratula.
The grandpa.
The Gratula.
Grandpatula.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so that literally, it's...
I don't mind...
If you have the cash and you want to go from, say, hey, I've got Dusty Martin and I want to go to a Neil or something or other, and you have the cash, sure. Do you know what I mean?
The preference is going up.
Yeah.
However, at this stage of the year, if you don't have the money in your account because you just had a little bit of a nest egg before the season started, I wouldn't be spending 2 trades in doing that. So...
2 trades is such a big cost.
It's such a...
It's a big
Because
cost.
you got to remember, you're basically exchanging your current situation, but just no trades in it. So I can understand the thought process of, I've got someone on field, like Dusty's not going well, he's injured, he's suspended for a week. I can understand the thought process. I've got someone on my bench I can take out. Yeah, that's fine. The actual thought process of doing it is completely fine, and I agree with it. You should be trying to get either Dusty out or whatever.
That 1 down and 1 up move is nearly 7% of your trades.
That's the issue. It's this again.
So
we said this last week. It's Supercoach is about 2 things.
Crazy.
It's about money and trades.
And it's 23 rounds, and you want to use 7% on 1 round.
It's all about and don't get me wrong. There's 2 things that are really important. It is getting the best possible starting team you can as quickly as possible, and then hoping you don't get injuries. Let's say that. But even then, what you're doing now is you're not going to be able to do that because you've just burnt 2 trades.
Yep. You run out of cash, you won't have the trades.
You'll run out of trades before you can get a really good team.
If you use 2 trades every week, you are going to be stiff for 8 weeks.
Yeah. So, the idea, in my opinion, if you've got Dusty and you do want to trade him, which I'm pretty confident that you probably do because he's dropped 3 poor scores.
Dusty and he's suspended, yeah.
No, two poor scores and he's suspended for a week. So I can understand the temptation to trade him, and I probably would too.
I would too.
But if you didn't have the money to go up, and I think up would be to a Lockie Neal or a Jack McRae.
Or even a Crouch, Matty Crouch if you could.
Well,
I don't mind that.
I don't mind a Matty Crouch. I don't mind a Matty Crouch.
If you can get there, but if you can't...
Go up.
If you can't, I'd go Liberatore.
There's 2 options. There's Libba. Or you could go forward, or you could go Whitfield. So if you had a little bit of cash, you go Whitfield.
Yeah, put Dersmer in the mid or something.
Yeah.
Yep, bit of swing or forward.
I actually really like that.
Yeah.
But I think... Whitfield's like 580 now, so you need a little bit of cash.
60, yep. Boak's only about 520 odd.
Boak is 520.
Yeah.
So that's almost a...
It's like much to
if
much.
you can do that,
yeah,
that's the way I would go.
Yeah.
Now, again, only if you can do that with 1 trade. Do not go and burn another trade to get some DPP to try and make it work. That's just... it's got terrible written all over it.
Supercoach is just not let into you.
Now, the unfortunate thing is, if you trade Libba in, you're probably going to have to trade him out anyway, because I still don't see him as a top 10.
Yeah, although it's... Here's the thing, I 100% with you, because I think it is still 2 trades. But if you're doing okay and then a new rookie comes in, you're going to have to trade to them and then trade them out anyway. Realistically speaking. I still think Libba has more than 100k to make. Based on if he gets 118 for the next 2 weeks, he's at 510 or 515k.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing that.
Me either. But they verse the Dogs.
He's got a great break.
The Dogs play Collingwood this week, and then they verse Carlton.
We got a live follower. Hold on.
So they do Carlton next week, Chris, which is going to be possibly a massive one for Libba.
Yeah.
So he could average 118.
All right. Thank you to JBZ4, who just followed us. Thank you very much. Shout out to you, my friend.
Do we have anything else to say on this, Chris? I think
we can move on to the next one. I mean, Rosie's fantastic, but don't trade
we do have to speak about Drew as well. Slight role change, obviously, with Ollie Wines coming back into the fold.
Slight role change. He barely touched the ball in the first half.
Yeah, I know. I also think it's just a bad game for him, though, to be honest. So I think but the worst part is that 36 is now in his cycle.
I don't think that's the worst part. I think that all rookies are basically on notice all the time. Does he get dropped?
No, I don't think... No, with Watts and stuff out, I think his first 2 rounds are proven better than that. If he has another bad round, though, he could be could be gone.
Now, that might not necessarily be bad.
They're essentially usually 2 bad games away, unless they're really harsh.
Now, let's have a look, though, because, I mean, his break-even would be... It's probably shot to shit now.
-12.
So he's still going to make money this round, but if he has another bad round...
Yeah, he needs another...
His break-even is going to go up here, and he might be one that you need to trade next week.
He does need a good round.
He's made... I mean, don't get me wrong, he's made decent cash. He's already made 70k. Like
another one. So
I'll get to that. So let's say he has a poor round next week and only scores 40 and then gets dropped. He's still going to make you another 35k.
Yeah.
and you'll be like, he'll be priced at 230 or 240, and that's sufficient. Like I'm happy to I'd trade him.
Anything over 100k.
So he's done his as long as he gets named this week, I think he's done his job.
No worries. Do you want to talk about Rockliff, Chris, and Robbie Gray? I think Robbie Gray might be carrying something. Yeah.
No, well they announced that So apparently he did a shoulder late in the fourth quarter.
Tell the people.
I'll tell the people. And he's been announced that he's going to be right to play this week, but it was a stinger, so he'll be fine. Also with Rocky, again he got knocked out, and which was great for my SuperCoach team, not great for Rocky. So look, I don't like injuries to players, but I don't mind when it happens to a lot of people having him, and you sort of get excited for a little bit, like, oh, everyone's got Rockliff, and that means that my SuperCoach team is better because I don't have him. And it's a bit of a selfish way to look at things, but so I got to try and stop myself. But I do like Rocky, and so they both apparently are going to be playing this week. So even though Rocky only went back to Adelaide today, and there was this big, he's not travelling back, I think that might have even been a planned thing because he obviously grew up in Queensland. He's got all his family here. It would make sense if I was Rockliff that I would request that as part of my package when I move to Port Adelaide, that when we play in Queensland, I'm allowed to stay a little bit extra. So it may not have even been concussion related, but if it was, he's come out and said that he's right to play. So see how you go. I wouldn't be dropping him. It's hurt his break even. Let's have a bit of a look here at his break even. Good old Rocky Rockliff. So his break even is now 100. So there's a chance that he could actually lose cash this week, which is a bit sad. Saying Rocky's break even is now 100.
Oh, it looks like he's not making that much cash.
No, so it's a bit sad. It's a bit sad. Did you? You didn't happen to grab the other two beers in the fridge, did you?
Do you want me to?
No.
Sorry, you can start talking about Collingwood, and I'll go get you your beers.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next round, and I will start the timer because I forgot to put it on for this round. So that's.
Oh, no wonder. I felt like we've been talking for 20 minutes.
Oh, well, I gave you plenty of leeway, mate.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Now, while we do that, and the timer has started, I'll just quickly jump back to our Twitch questions and see our new Twitch follower. So here we go. Sorry, I'm British, and so I'm invading. Normally working, so catch up when I'm home. Great pod, by the way. Oh, thanks very much, Maddie Paddies. That's awesome. Whereabouts from Britain are you from? Shout us out in the comments, and hopefully you're a Liverpool fan as well. That would be awesome. Ice Truck Killer said just like McRae. Robbo went to Butters. That's strange. I suppose he did slow down Butters because Butters was absolutely bloody killing it. Absolutely killing it.
You can have the busted up one.
Yeah,
mate.
thanks, mate. I think Butters was matching Rosie point for point.
Yeah, he was killing it.
And then
got
stopped. Absolutely stopped. So yeah, strange.
Interesting.
And JR Stiff just said Fyfe confirmed out for the week.
No way.
Yeah. So
when?
we'll touch on that.
I'm not that surprised though, to be honest.
No, I think he will miss this week, but I don't think it's going to be more than 1 week. So. All right, on to the Pies versus West Coast, which they sort of ran away with it in the end. Bit of a disappointing game for me. I have to say, and I try to avoid this, and I get biased probably because of my team. But Jesus Christ, the umpires in this whole round were shocking.
What do I do?
But this game, I could not believe some of the decisions that just either A, gifted a West Coast goal, or B, and Dangerfield tweeted about it, the whole sliding beneath it wasn't even a slide. He's dived on the ball to pick the ball up. He's sort of run to him and then sort of fallen over him or jumped over him to avoid contact. It was just a joke.
You sound like a Collingwood supporter, Chris.
No, I am a Collingwood supporter, but I just find... Okay, so...
Can we just reflect quickly?
Clarify that rule,
Before you start getting all emotional, Chris, and getting all amongst this, how good was Dom Sheed's kick from the pocket?
It wasn't even that good. His kick in the grand final was 100 times better.
All right, West Coast. West Coast. How does their theme song go?
I've heard it about...
West Coast.
By the way... They win the game, the theme song comes on, and Ash is in the kitchen. She's like, fuck, I've heard that song enough.
Can we just let the elephant out of the room again, Chris? This is elephant number 2. Chris here decides to dog the boys. I won 2 tickets to the Gabba. I was giving Chris my Gabba membership. The Gabba membership. I was giving him my pass And you know
Tier
what?
2.
And he said, "Oh, I didn't realize Collingwood was playing at the same time tonight or this night. It was the morning of the game." And I was like, "So you're turning down watching a live game, even though you've gone to Suncorp Stadium to watch the Broncos live while your team's played versus Geelong." Because he wants to watch the grand final rematch, even though it's not the grand final, it's just a game.
Shout out in the comments if you would do the same.
He wants to watch his team on TV so he can cry with no one listening to him when Dom Sheed kicks it from the pocket instead of going to a real football game.
Yeah,
would you go to a real football game or would you watch your game on TV?
It's pretty much what I want to do.
Anyway, yeah, literally.
I'm
Shut
glad
up.
I did.
We need to have a poll. We need to have a poll, Chris.
Again, we dominated. We dominated the first half, and we should have won the game. But the second half, we just couldn't capitalize on the opportunities. West Coast played a much better second half, and I like especially late in the game, they just ran over the top of us. So they did deserve to win. I'd say so. Dom Sheed gets to 111. He played like shit. So I wouldn't be a happy Dom Sheed owner watching that game. He's now playing. He played 50% of the time in the forward line. So
and then some on the wing, I think.
So and the other time he wasn't in the center of the field. It was on a wing. So I would be a worried Dom Sheed owner. He got lucky. He took a mark in the goal square unmarked. He kicks that goal obviously from the wing. So he had 2 goals, which really helped boost his score, and they were important goals at important times of the game. So I think that's a very inflated score. I mean, that overall West Coast didn't have a lot because Collingwood dominated the ball again. West Coast didn't have very high Supercoach scores. But, yeah, I would be a worried Dom Sheed owner. I mean, he's going great right now. If you're looking as a Dusty to Sheed, don't do it. I think you're going to be in for a real bad run of scores coming up.
Hearn still keeps ticking on, though.
Yeah, Hearn's great. Hearn's a great Supercoach option. What's he averaging?
He did pretty bad the first one, I think, and then 2 good games. So probably 100 flat.
Let's have a look. Yeah, 102. Nice. Yeah, decent.
Yeah, I knew his first game was a bit lower. Lions game, I think, he was a little bit lower. So
maybe this is just the start of something to come, but Andrew Gaff had 34 disposals, but only got 103 Supercoach, and a lot of those were handball receives, and he wasn't playing as much inside as he was last year. Now,
how about Elliot Yeo, just quietly?
Well, that's a whole nother conversation.
I actually think he's still traumatized from when he got booed a lot at the Gabba.
Oh, by the way, anyone complaining about the Collingwood fans booing Dom Sheed, just get a new one, mate. He kicks the winning goal in a grand final. Collingwood fans aren't going to forget that tomorrow. It's going to be decades until like he'll retire.
Yeah.
He'll be walking in Melbourne and he'll still get booed.
Literally, it'll be like the Brisbane Lions beating Collingwood 2 years in a row. Mate, you don't forget.
An elephant never forgets.
You keep reminding.
I'm still upset about it.
Keep reminding.
If I saw Michael Voss, I'd probably still slap him in the face.
Trying to think of who Collingwood.
I'd also get the shit kicked out of me.
Who did Collingwood pick up from Geelong? Varco. I still remember Varco like putting you guys out. He had an absolute towler on the grand final.
He kicked the first goal.
And,
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, so why are we
he had a great game.
Fans were not happy about that. I guarantee.
He had a great game. He was pretty much one of the reasons you lost.
He was close to Norm Smith that day.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, came out of nowhere. I was like, Varco.
Should have won that game.
People don't forget. People don't forget.
We should have wone that. We lost 3 games for the year. They were all to Geelong.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Anyway.
Anyhow.
2011. The year we should have won it, but we didn't.
Grundy, 132. He is the vice captain option of choice.
Guaranteed. Has to be in your captain plans this week.
Yeah. For me, it's Grundy into Neil or Grundy into Cripps. That's my theory, pretty much. Or Cripps. Or Neil into Cripps. But I'd rather Grundy. Literally, Witts had like 70 hitouts or something. Was it 50 or 70? It was something stupid.
I listened to the Dr. Supercoach pod today, and it was amazing. Again, shout out to Pistol, Chizo, and JB. Yeah. Great boys there.
JB first for me. But yeah.
But there was a stat that Pistol mentioned as well. Gold Coast, so Jared Witts and Peter Wright, who's the second ruckman. Peter Wright had more, even though he only had like 10 or 15% game time in the ruck, had more hitouts than Tim English, who was the number 1 ruck for the Bulldogs.
For all of
for the whole of the Bulldogs
all
side,
of the Bulldogs.
And I think Jared Witts had like 50 or 60
Grundy
hitouts.
is probably in for an absolute field day.
You have to, if you have Grundy, it's either VC
I think
or
it's
C.
I think he's a 150-ish this week for him. So I think you have to.
Well, I mean, the only thing that's going to stop that is Western Bulldogs sharking the taps. But he's got to be in your plans, because if he goes huge, you're screwed. Just take it out.
Just take it.
So yeah, Grundy's got to be in your plans somewhere with your either VC or C, because I think he's got too much of a hurt factor if he goes big and you don't have it on him.
Yeah.
Same with Danger last week. If he goes big and you don't have it on him, if he only goes 110, you can obviously you need a backup. So you've got a Cripps or a Neil or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think Grundy into Neil or Grundy into Cripps are probably great options.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now just going down the list there. So yeah, Elliot Yeo's a bit of a worry. I mean, what is he? He's dropping cash like it's going.
Oh, he's dropping heaps of cash. He got 85.
He's averaging 80 over his first 3 rounds. Granted, he's been tagged in 2 of those games, and he's also turned the ball over a hell of a lot.
Oh,
I don't see him as someone who like. Okay, so
we thought he was going to be 110.
Here's the thing, though. From round 4 to round 22, what's he averaging?
From now.
Take out the first 3 rounds. You got Gaff back in the team.
I'm going to say 80.
Fuck off. No way. I'll take that bet. You want to bet on it?
No,
I'll give you 5 to 1.
5 to 1?
Yep.
Jeez, no way.
$100 bet. Let's do it. I'll give you $500 if Elliot Yeo averages 80 or less.
No, why would I do that? That's stupid.
Because I
don't think he's done that since. Yeah, of course.
It's never going to happen.
I'll do 5 to 1. 5 to 1 on $1.
I reckon he's okay. So just I reckon he averages 110 from here out.
I say under 110. 5 to 1.
No, that's not, I'm not gonna. I ain't an idiot. I mean, I like to bet, but I'm not an idiot. No, so I think Elliot Yeo's still a good option if you're looking at him. Here's the great thing for anyone who doesn't own him.
He could be cheap. Not many people own him anyway, Chris.
He's coming right down in price.
What is he? 2%, 5%?
Under 500k.
He's not in many teams.
3% of teams is 6,500.
That was close. 2%, 5%.
And funny, that 6,000 of those are West Coast supporters.
Jesus.
No, so look, he's got a 160 break even, so he's probably going to go down this week. He's already lost some cash. He's lost 46k, so he's at 538. If he gets under 500k, you couldn't let me off him quick enough. I'm going to jump all over Elliot Yeo at 500k.
Jeez, if he has another bad round, though, he's dropping so much cash.
Well, his projected price drop is 30k if he gets another 80.
So what's he now?
538. So he could be 508k.
He'll be less. He'll be like 460k. He's going to have 2 price drops here.
Yeah, decent. Anyway, decent game. Terrible umpiring. I wish they'd just let the boys play. We also had another live follow-up, so thank you very much.
Yep. Also, Petroselli.
Chrisimo. Chrisimo, he's in the chat. Thanks, mate. Thanks for following.
Petroselli, 58.
Decent.
Well. Not too bad.
He burned the Collingwood. He burned Brayden Maynard a few times.
He's quick, hey? Yeah. I told you. He's an absolute jet. I think Gaff back in, I think, was really good. Who was the other one that was there? Crisp, 56.
Oh, yeah.
He's
he was
cash.
on like 27 at 3/4 time, bro.
Jeez.
That last 30 points was all in the last quarter.
Good on him.
So, he actually
he went like 130 last week and then had a bad score. So
another trading option.
He could be dropping
quiche. Again, what we said at the start of the year, edge of top 10.
I'll tell you who's the
still going to be around the mark.
I'm so excited that Simpson's dropping cash, but he's playing so bad that I don't think he's actually top 6 to 10 right now.
I don't know if I can pick him up anyway.
But if you started this year and you said, oh my God, Simpson's going to have a bad first 3 rounds, you'd be like, yes. And then
what needs to happen?
No.
Nick Newman needs to pull a hammy or something, and then I'll be like, Simpson, into my team.
Pretty much. I think that pretty much rounds me out as well. Oh, and can you also shed light on your boy...
Jack Darling.
Jack Darling. Who's the other guy you didn't really mention?
Jack Darling is Collingwood's whipping boy. He gets flogged by us every single year. I remember when Tuvey used to play him.
Except for the last quarter.
He never kicked more than 1 goal on in a single game until the last year of Tuvey's career. The last quarter of the grand final.
Oh, half, but didn't do much first half.
Yeah, he's just Collingwood's whipping boy. He just can't get off the mark against them. So I wouldn't read too much into that. However, a lot of people, this is a 3 round. I think round 2 he had a 90. So a lot of people are looking at his scores and they're not happy with it, which is fair enough, I suppose. But what else? What are you going to do with it? He's dropped money now. You can't go anywhere.
He's still about 430, 440 though.
Yeah,
not too bad.
You got to go down up because what you want is Boak. You can't afford that. Most people don't have 80k just sitting there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can, I don't hate it.
Chris, I don't. Yeah, all these people, that's their problem. I've got Fyfe. on my team.
We should
and
get
he's
him
missing this week. So.
Well, JR Steph just confirmed Fife's Instagram is where that's from.
And yeah, Fremantle shared it as well, the Fremantle site. So that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for official news, which I'm okay. I think if you'll only miss 1 week, I don't think there's anything else. I mean, Rockliff said he's keen to play, so it looks like Rockliff will be in. I think Fyfe will miss 1. So,
Jordan 17 is obviously talking about captain scores, and he says Danger 190 and 160 on GWS in 2017. Yeah, agreed. But that was before Matt DeBoer started tagging everyone and putting him out of games. And that's GWS was not tagging for years. And the reason was they just didn't really have a specific tagging player.
Yeah, now what's his 2 victims now? The last 2
Martin,
weeks? And the week before that? GWS.
GWS played what?
West
Bulldogs,
Coast.
Was it? West Coast. Yo. Absolutely touted him. If it's me and I'm Matt DeBoer, I'm going to Dangerfield this week.
Ooh.
That it makes sense. Why would you go to Kelly?
Because Kelly's got a bung ankle.
He's probably not even going to play that much mid-time.
That's true.
Who else is it? Selwood.
Selwood's on the outside. No thanks.
Who's the player that's probably most like Dangerfield in the comp? Elliot Yeo. Who else was it last week? Dusty Martin.
Yeah.
They're tagging him. Yeah. Guaranteed Danger gets tagged. If you want to risk, I mean, can you risk a Danger VC? You can't because Grundy's the first one, isn't it, on Friday night?
No, there's a Thursday night game, which is Melbourne and Sydney.
So so you're going to VC Grundy anyway. Yeah,
correct.
So, I mean, you're risking a captain on it. I can understand if Danger was your vice captain, you could take a punt on it. I wouldn't. Well, there's no way.
If you think Danger's going to outscore outscore Grundy, then VC him, and then at least that way you have possibly a Neil or a Cripps to actually run into. But yeah, if you go VC, that'd be dangerous.
Yeah. Now, Nathan Dave 77 says, "Love your work, lads. Do we trade Fyfe? We'll go into Fyfe more in a second. Yeah, when we talk about Freo.
Darling to Boke. If you have the money, go for it.
If you've got it in one trade, I'm okay with that. I'm not hating that.
Yeah, but there's no point trading out someone who's made 30k profit. That's stupid.
Don't do it if you have to make 2 trades.
Save your trade. Plus, Boke, they've also had 2 wins and a near win. Do you know what I mean? He's had a good role. Ollie Wine still isn't up to scratch yet, but yes, his role's great, but they haven't lost games yet. So Boke's going to get you some 80 scores. He's not going to average 120 for the whole year. So his role's great. He actually looks like he could be top 6 to 10 material. But we're yet to see Port. I mean, who have they played? They played Melbourne, who were horrible. Yeah. They played Carlton, and they played Brisbane, who we don't generally.
Leak points.
We leak points in SuperCoach.
Leak points all day.
For SuperCoach, yeah. Right? But 100%. we play pretty well. So, but we don't actually man up and we can leak some possessions.
The way that you guys play is frenetic, fast-paced football, which unfortunately defensively leaves you open. So you leak points. Now, Jordan just says as well, has Danger ever been tagged out? Yeah, he has multiple times. But he's getting tagged out, it means he scores an 80. He'll still get you decent score, like for your on-field, but not for a captain.
I think the last...
Because you want 130 plus, and you're not going to get that if he's tagged.
I think it's like the last 2 or 3 years, he's only gone under 100 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And, if he gets tagged, it could be one of those times.
Yeah.
He generally doesn't go too bad, though. No, you're right.
Fozzie Little Pone says, the boys... can't wait to listen in full tomorrow morning. Your night feel sucks, unfortunately, buddy. But we'll be... by the way, you can access all of these podcasts. If you miss the live stream, you can literally jump on Twitch at any time as soon as it's finished. It's automatically uploaded to Twitch and it's held there. And then immediately after as well, we're now chucking it straight onto YouTube and then we edit the audio, etc.
Yeah, I'll do that tonight, so we need to hurry up.
Yeah, we'll get through it. But the podcast takes a little bit longer because we need to edit and order and
so with the actual
clean up the audio.
Yeah, and that's why we have had issues. But I'm going to go home and do that tonight. But everything that you hear, I edit it.
Yeah,
basically. So that's why our sound and I pride myself on the fact that our our sound, Spotify, our SoundCloud. Is it SoundCloud?
Yeah, SoundCloud is where we upload to.
Yeah, pretty much. So SoundCloud, Spotify, all those things. That's the reason why one of ours actually sounds probably one of the better for quality because we actually edit our audio. We don't edit the content because whatever we say here is how it is, but we edit the actual content to make it sound better for you when you actually listen back. Unfortunately, YouTube, hopefully we'll do this at some point, but YouTube is the original audio and then I edit it for our audio. expert.
We'll eventually change it when we have a little bit more time up our sleeves.
Probably next year, I think, when I'm teaching. We'll be able to just do the one thing.
TL73 says, hi guys, do you think Mumford will average 95 plus this year? I think he does average that. The issue is I don't think he plays enough games to make it worth it.
I think 90 plus. Yeah,
I think he averages 95. I think he averages closer to 100.
If you don't have Grundy and Gawn, then, if you have someone
you need to be going for, I assume you probably got a Nank or a Goldie, potentially. But I wouldn't be looking at trading them at this stage of the season. I'd be waiting a few rounds, making sure that that Mumford is that person that is going to average what you want. Because you got to remember, that's Mumford's first AFL game in 18 months. He still scored a 91. Like, it's bloody impressive. I do think he's got the ability to score over that. But just be aware, Mummy always gets suspended and he always gets injured. So he's not going to play the rest of the games of the year. I reckon in total this year he probably plays 16 games, which means he probably misses another 4 at some stage for whatever reason.
Okay, so Nat Fyfe, Twitter by the looks of it, or something or other. So he says, update, Nat Fyfe official. Update. Firstly, a huge thanks to everyone who has shown concern and care since the weekend's concussion. In consultation with the football club and medical experts, we've decided that I will not play this weekend against West Coast Eagles. I'm almost symptom-free and have recovered extremely well, but a week's rest is the sensible course of action after such a big hit to the head. Disappointed I can't be out there with my team, but looking forward to returning the following week against Giants if all goes to plan, with a peace sign. Please don't trade me out of your Supercoach teams.
That's fantastic.
Nat Fyfe.
That is good.
So,
that's gold.
I can't trade him now.
No, you're just holding.
He just told me
because Nat Fyfe said so.
He just told me.
No, I respect that.
Look, look, a 3-game average of 111. He'll miss 1 round. I might lose 60 points or something. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't.
So,
well, again, we'll get into that when we cover.
Well, Chris, this is urgent, Chris. This has just happened. This is for me.
Endo, so Sir Black Knight said, straight trade, Darling to Boak. Do it. Do it, Endo. Done. Lock it up.
Who's that?
So Sir Black Knight is Endo.
Yeah, I know that. I mean,
he's doing Darling to Boak single trade.
Darling to Boak, yeah, go for it.
Done.
Good
Absolutely.
choices. Midfield rolled over a forward roll. No thanks.
Nathan said, also, I'm not trading Fyfe just yet. Ben was very animated yesterday on Twitter. He was.
I was.
He was animated
because
yesterday.
there was an article.
I'm glad someone became this up. He messages me. He's like, I'm angry. And I shouldn't be on Twitter, but I am.
Why am I looking at Twitter? I swear to God, the cells in my head have literally just diminished. I swear to God.
I swear to God, with a tip of the cap like so. And I was like, Emilio!
It's like anything. The AFL recruits people to give them, hey, can you please write a report on the benefits of this and that and the other and your recommendations. They had someone do a recommendation on, okay, this is what I recommend and this is what should happen. So people that like Nat Fyfe, if they get knocked out, they should be out for 19 days, etc., etc., etc. Safety protocols. Then the AFL's not going to go, oh, okay, thanks for that, no worries, bang. Okay, so from tomorrow or from today.
Next year they will. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I think you're right. But
there will be a review.
Any kind of policy, any kind of huge implementation like that.
Like wearing helmets.
Yeah, like headgear or any of the changes. It's end of year. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, the clubs, the medicals, they go through their process like they have every other time. But then these same people were like, oh, no, but Rockliff looks like he's fine to play. Like, what is it? Oh, no, but this article mentioned that Fyfe, he's missing 3 weeks.
Love your passion.
He's not missing 3 weeks, Chris.
Can I point out something, though? Let's say everybody gets headgear. Does everybody get Brownlow votes? Or does no one get Brownlow votes?
Because they can't tell who's playing?
I'm not going to be able to tell anyone. We're going to have to get names in the back. Yeah. Everyone has headgear, names on the back. That's
more controversy. Chris, can we get on to the next game?
We can.
That'd be great.
Now, Ice Truck Killer and Fun Beanman 555 also just said they are both trading Fyfe.
No way.
They are not taking the advice of the main man himself.
Although, if I was to trade Fyfe, I'd probably actually bring in a Liberatore.
The guy Fyfe says, don't trade me out of your Supercoach teams. But really, he's literally never played a full season of AFL football. Maybe you should learn how to play the game before suggesting advice, buddy.
At least it's not soft tissue. I'm okay with him missing a week for KO.
Yeah, fair cool.
If I was to trade him, Chris, I'd actually probably go Liberatore.
Now, let's move on to West Coast versus Western Bulldogs versus Gold Coast. Let's start the timer. And can I just start this game by saying what a bloody entertaining game of football it was. Sure, the skills weren't amazing. Like, it was a little bit of turnover.
It's actually
football,
a very tense ending.
but it was just a fun game to watch, and it was fun because Gold Coast jumped out to a lead, but Western Bulldogs were playing better football. Their forward line just absolutely sucks.
Can I also say quickly, I just saw something pop up here.
Sure.
A lot of people are going Nathaniel Fyfe to Lockie Neal, which is a 100% deal if you have the funds. It's huge. Like,
one trade?
There's like 10,000
One
people.
trade.
Yeah, one trade. There's like 10,000 people
I don't mind
jumping on the Neal train. So I don't mind it either. And it makes sense. He's killing it. He's not that much more expensive. I think it's like 50k more or 43 or something.
It's actually quite
not
a lot
too bad.
considering that most people that have good midfields don't have Mount.
And if you don't have Lockie Neal, it's actually a good time because he's actually projected to go up to 700k in the next week. So if you want him in, now's the time because he will be over 700k and it'll be like the McRae of last year where you just might not be able to afford him. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Chris.
Fair enough.
Apologies. Let's move on.
So, the big question that came out of this game for me is, how long are they positioning with Bontempelli in the midfield? I don't reckon it's going to be long. 2 rounds.
They're not scoring well?
They can't score for the football. They can't kick goals. They don't have a forward target that is capable of kicking 3 or 4 goals every single week. They don't have a matchup for, like... Aaron Norton's their big forward. He don't get me wrong, he can clunk them once a game, twice a game maybe.
So you want to put Bontempelli forward more?
If I'm Bevo, I'm playing him forward because they can't
kick 3 behinds.
But they're all from outside 50.
Couldn't even kick a goal.
All from outside 50 on the run, bursting out from a centre clearance and looking sexy as fuck, dude. The guys that arguably in the top 5 midfielders in the competition and has been for the last 5 years, except hasn't been able to play there because he's played so much forward time. Now, they
need Shaki and Boyd to like get their stuff together.
Well, Boyd's still injured, so he's not playing.
Shaki's
just a...
Boyd's injured. Get his stuff together.
I don't know what's Shaki's deal.
I swear, Boyd's still crying in the corner saying I should have won the Norm Smith.
He's pretty... And I would be too.
I would be too.
It's like the only thing he could be...
He's crying in his pile of money that he's still cash. He's
crying in his fat checks that he's been cashing ever since he went to the Dodgers.
How many years is that now? 3 years? It's been a few years.
So good. That was a Conor McGregor reference though, by the way, if anyone knows that.
How many years was that deal? Oh my God. I'm actually pleasantly surprised, Chris, with the Gold Coast players. Not only how they've actually come together as a team, like they've recruited well. I think Collins has actually been amazing for their team. Yeah. But also their young guys have stood up. They've gone, okay, let's catch you later Lynch, catch you later May. They've united together. And then you have guys like Bose, Fiorini, like who else? Literally, Lockie Weller also had a great game as well. Hanley's held together with duct tape, but Sexton's actually killing it as well. Like it's just crazy.
Interestingly, and this was made. I enjoyed. I don't know if people from the media listen to our podcast, but I'd love to know if they do because something that we said actually made it to the live telecast. So
no way.
So I'm serious.
What?
So, and maybe that's just a coincidence that 2 people who know something about football make the same analysis.
Well, it's probably fairly common.
Right? So the Western Bulldogs' tactics early was to kick it short to leading targets because... and the commentator said... Avoid the long kick inside because you're just going to go straight into Sam Collins' wheelhouse.
Yep.
And he's going to tidy the hell out of you.
And like that's like... I actually did hear this and they're saying... I'm not sure if that was a direct ploy by St Kilda, but they avoided Collins and they were hitting the lead and...
100%,
I did actually
Which
hear
took him completely out of the game.
I did actually hear that.
Now, if you watch the game, every time that the Bulldogs made any inroads into the game, Collins would pick out this ridiculous inset mark. Out of nowhere. He was on track for 100 at a point.
Yeah, but he only got 79.
Well, you know why?
After a good game.
Took the best intercept mark of the day, turns around, kicks it, intercepts straight into a Western Bulldogs player for a shot on goal. Now, luckily he missed it because it would have been even less points. But he was already on 85 at that point without the intercept mark, and then he dropped points from that intercept. So, and then he got scaled back down. So, it was a bad. But yeah, I saw his score go. I was like, oh, why does it keep going down? I'm like, yeah. So Sam Collins, by the way, if you don't have him or if you do have him, he's an on-field player. I know he got a 25 in round 1.
If I had him now, I'd probably play him on-field over Clark or someone.
The amount of intercept possessions he gets, not just marks though, he gets a lot of loose ball gets from spoils, and he also gets some really cheap possessions like like kick out from, he's in a pocket. He gets a kick out.
I actually watched him and I was like...
long kick rebound 50s.
No, I actually watched him thinking, oh, why did I get rid of this guy?
Man,
I didn't like him on field, though.
It's tough.
You know, it was a tough... Like, I could have sat for a week, but then I would have missed out on more.
I'm enjoying Collins. I'm much more confident that he's going to average 80 now.
Well, you
I
need
reckon
to.
he's going to get some hundreds. I reckon he's honestly going to get some hundreds.
Sure. How many 80s has he had?
1.
What?
87.
And you want him to average over 80?
Yeah, I reckon he can.
Jeez.
Well, good.
Do you want
79.
do you want to double up on that bet, Chris? Whatever it was.
Well,
That's a horrible bet.
5 to 1. You're going to give me 5 to 1.
5 to 1 over 80.
You still owe me 10. Oh no, beers.
I bought beers last week.
Yeah, it's all good.
My gosh.
You know who bought beers this week? Jack Collins. Hello.
Hey.
Thanks,
Anyway,
moving on to Libba. So we did. I mentioned earlier in the podcast that the Gold Coast played into Libba's hands a lot. Now Libba's role, fantastic, massively inside, very few forward minutes. He's probably...
he was forward a bit.
Yeah.
He was linking up forward, though.
Yeah, no, he's getting forward minutes, but around the contest and around the ball. This game had a lot of bounces, and as can be seen by the amount of hit-outs that Wits had.
Heaps of hit-outs.
But Wits they were scared of the outside, and this is why McRae suffered early. He's the outside ball getter in the midfield, right? So he's the one that shoots through if there's a large hit-out or whatever, and Sharks taps. They took that out of the game, which is why he really struggled early. He just could not get around the ball, and it was getting blocked off the ball and everything. Jared Witts, he won most of the hitouts and was just literally tapping it down to his feet. So they had, and so who's that plays into? That's Tom Liberatore. So the amount of sharked taps that he got was off the charts.
Yeah, I think Tuke Miller as well was at his feet too, just like bang, literally right at his feet.
Straight to the ground. Libba's there. Either A, Libba's tackling the guy who gets the ball, or B, Libba's getting a clearance. He had how many clearances did he have? He would have had about 15 clearances, I reckon. Like he was on record pace. Unbelievable game. I really like Libba, but I don't think you're going to see another 150 from him this year. I think that is...
And then last week, would he get that goal as well? So pushes 120 to up to 128.
I think at best, I think is a 95 average at best for the year. From here to the end of the season, I'd say a 90.
Well, how's that work then, Chris? He's like averaging monster.
Yeah, but over 22 games, that's not
90, 5 points a game.
Work it out. You're a mathematician.
Yeah,
do it.
I'm not a mathematician.
Yeah,
but you're pretty much saying it's only a 5 point over.
So because he will have some really low games. He'll have some games where he's already had a 75, and he had 28 disposals in that game. So, look, I just honestly think if you're looking at Libba, I don't think it's going to be bad for your team, but you're going to need to remember when you're trading him in, you're probably going to need to trade him out at some point. Now that's not necessarily going to be a bad thing because he'll peak in price, so he might get to say 550 at this point, or maybe just over 500. Then it's completely worth a trade down at the moment. But just remember, you're not trading Libba in to be a keeper for the rest of your side. Now, that's unfortunate, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Your maths stacks up.
You're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome? Anyway, McRae, again, super impressed. 131 points he scored in 3 quarters of football.
Huge.
And 8 points in 1. At 3/4 time when he's sitting on 86 or 87. No, he's on like 91. I'm like, I think we're okay here.
Yeah, go for 120.
Yeah.
I was like,
And then he just kept going. But you know what? He had a massive last quarter.
Yeah.
And
second quarter too, his points started turning.
I think his role changed in the last quarter. They said, all right, we need to move the ball now.
Basically,
you need to be around the ball.
He was 40 at halftime.
Yeah.
He ended up with a 99-point half.
Yeah, they wanted to win the game, so they changed his role. They wanted to win the game. That's it. And this is what I don't know. Like, Bevo frustrates the shit out of me because he trials things in games. He just goes, I'll just do this. Like, this wings, this will work. Like, same with Dunkley. Like, Dunkley's been thrown around everywhere.
Yeah, he's been in the midfield, but the problem is that I actually think Libba's getting, like, first hands on, and then he's going to Bont and McRae, and then Dunkley's there, like... like Shannon Knoll.
Oh, yeah.
Like Shannon Knoll.
Oh, he had his chances,
What
though.
about me?
He missed a dead set sitter in front of goal 30 minutes out.
He jabbed at that, literally like it was Jabba the Hutt.
Now, again, I don't think you can trade him.
Who?
Dunkley?
No, I'm holding.
I can't even justify him to Boke. I can't justify it.
Oh, yeah, it's tough.
No, it's no way for me.
Right. We got a new follower, Dipper. The Dipster, it just popped through up on the Twitter feed.
Which means it's going to be coming through.
Oh,
here
there we go.
shortly. And that rounds up their game. But yeah, awesome game to watch. Really,
I actually thought it was very. I'm actually really happy for the Gold Coast, and they've been fit too. Like they keep running out games. And here's the funny thing: that first game, there it is, the out of bounds. The first game, we actually thought it said a lot more about St Kilda. We weren't expecting Gold Coast to actually be that good.
Yeah.
So the couple points that St Kilda won by, now it's kind of like, oh, okay, like that was actually a pretty hard fought. Originally we thought, how bad St Kilda? Like, the Suns pushed them by a couple of points.
Well, because I mean, a lot of people, me included, I tipped the Suns to win 2 games this year.
Yeah, not many.
They're already at 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, in saying that, they were at 2 this time last year. So they won the first 2
one in the
games
wet,
of the
and then I think
they won 1 for the rest of the year.
Might have beat Brisbane.
Anyway,
all right, let's move on. Hawks and North.
Before we do, I want to touch on Jack Bowes. Now,
he was my Smokey.
He's not a Smokey anymore. He's on everyone's radar.
Even people in a what was it, a 12-man league, pick 22. I was even telling everyone, I'm like, hey, if you want, like, I wasn't picking him, but I was like, if you want a Smokey, like Bowes. Bowes was my Smokey.
You know who?
I didn't even get him because
Jack Bowes
I'm an
is
idiot.
400k and he's averaging more than Brad Crouch and Tom Rockliff.
Ooh.
He's averaging 108.
Jeez. See, that's a good Smokey.
That's a fantastic
Why
Smokey.
didn't I pick him? Someone else got him in draft. I'm an idiot.
Look, I love him. I love his role. He's going to be in the midfield for the rest of the year. You can't pick him because he's not going to be top 10. But Jesus, I tell you what, I would have loved to have picked him.
He was in my preseason hype. Like, the Suns were saying Jack Bowes looks like he's great. And I was really keen on him.
You said all that, and I was like,
I know, I was so keen on him.
I dismissed it.
But then I realised he was a midfielder. And I was like, like if he was a
defender. If
he was a defender or a forward, I actually would have paid a lot more attention.
Guaranteed.
But midfielder, I'm like, oh yeah, breakout. Like, what are you going to do? Like, hit me 100. Yeah.
All right. Now, just quickly go back to the old Twitch test. So, what do we got here?
Libba, 12 clearances. There you go, Chris. 9 tackles. Bang.
Excellent.
Yeah, dropping it feet.
Arstra Killer says, sorry, so let's go back. TL73, I agree that Boyd should have won the Norm Smith. Yes, he should have.
Yeah, he should have. I like that everyone joins in on this conversation.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, we've got quite a few. We're just going to go back.
Dusted and Neil, yeah, if you can do it in one trade, go for it.
Yeah, Arstra Killer says, I've got 75 in the kitty. Yeah, go nuts, mate. Fun Beeman at 555 says, I'm trading out 5 to Libba. And Cade, you've got Simpson to Lou. Okay, yeah, fair call.
Simpson to Lou?
Yeah, that's I'm okay with. Now, that's different because what you're doing, you're trading to 2 keepers. So one of them is a correction trade and one of them is an injury trade. I'm not completely against that.
I'm not against it because
you're probably trading Simpson anyway.
Well, at this point, yeah, it looks pretty bad.
I can't see
you could keep him, realistically speaking, but I don't mind the Fyfe to Libba because Libba's still going to go up in cash, and then you might be able to then trade him to a different primo or whatever at that point in time. But yeah, if you don't have Lloyd either, then you're kind of correcting. You're getting rid of one guy who was a keeper for another guy that's a keeper in a different line. So yeah, I don't mind it too much.
I don't hate it. What I will say is that Fyfe and Simpson you picked as premiums, which meant you were picking him as 2 guys that are going to be in your team for the whole year. That's why you picked them, right? So now you've gone to one guy that's going to be in your team for the whole year, and one guy you might need to trade.
Yeah, well, you will have to trade.
That's the one issue.
You can't keep Liberal all year.
No, I don't think it's going to be.
It's a dream run. He has had a dream start. He is not going to keep that up for the whole year.
Plus, who have Bulldogs played?
Oh, the Bulldogs have an easy piss draw. They even have Collingwood this week, Carlton next week.
We actually said that even
after that it starts to get a bit...
Gold Coast twice.
Yeah, exactly. So
Gold Coast Saints twice.
The dream Bulldogs have an easy start to the year.
Anyway, moving on. All right. Doggies got screwed because they lost their captain and coach. So to save face, they got Boyd at top dollar. Yeah, that's true. I think it was definitely a marketing tactic. Thanks, Ice Truck Killer. Boyd was worth it though. Because he gave them a premiership for sure. He won them their first flag, yeah, for sure.
Oh, I think he's worth it based on the fact that they won the premiership.
Yeah, whatever
they paid.
Fun Bean Man 555 says gamble responsible, ladies. I mean, gentlemen, we kind of gamble responsibly.
I think we do. I don't really Actually, I only really gamble with you and the other boys. Really,
to me,
like poker and stuff. I don't really gamble on games much. I don't really gamble at the casino.
Okay, so the only time we gamble really, like usually, we have like year bets for $50. No one cares. We only ever do home poker games
every 2 months or so.
When was the last time you went to the casino and played poker?
I don't play at the casino. I've had someone else pay for me to play. I don't, because you rock up with $200, someone else has got like 10 grand in their pocket, and they don't care.
They don't care.
They're like, yeah, $200 all in, do you want it? And you're like, my $200.
Yeah.
Like, I'm too Jewish for that.
And the issue with that is that if you're playing that way, then you shouldn't be at the table.
Yeah, correct.
Because if you play, it's playing scared. You just get dominated.
Exactly.
So yeah, we just do home poker, and it's fun, and it's social. And
yeah, so if you lose money,
it's like $200.
Well, if you lose money, you lose to a mate. And it's not the worst.
We could go out drinking and blow $300 in a night easy.
Just drinking.
Yeah, and that's just drinking.
Just drinking. I don't know why I'm touching my nose. That was more like a hey, keep it on the hearsay.
So Dusty?
Yeah, yeah.
No, we're just joking.
The
we
Mumford,
don't do that.
that'd be no.
That's funny. That was a joke.
Nah, don't touch that. I'm too Jewish for that
too. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's a rich man's ganja. Yeah. 22 contested. Yep, 100%. Thoughts on Steele to Bont? Hate it.
No, yeah, the 250-50s really.
No, because I as I just mentioned, I think the Bont's role will change because they're not getting enough out of their forward line. I think that eventually he goes back and plays forward,
or hold Steele and hope he becomes good.
Which probably bodes well for Dunkley at some stage.
Yeah,
because I think he's probably next in line.
And yeah, Steele hasn't actually been that bad. So,
or is Greenwood going to sit him all game? No, I don't think Greenwood goes to Bont. Maybe. Nah. McRae will burn him for pace. Oh, not pace, but I think he's tactically
he's
just
outside,
a better player.
Though. Who would be on the inside then?
Libba. Maybe he goes to Libba.
Maybe Libba.
Interesting to see if Greenwood goes to Libba. That's a like for like. They're both hard nuts.
That's hilarious. That'd be good.
I don't mind that.
Okay. Right to your...
Hold Steele. Keep Libba for as long as he keeps it up. I hope he gets tagged this week. Shout out to Dipper CR7. I hope you are a Ronaldo fan, but I also hope that you're not a Man United fan. So hopefully we can agree on something. All right, let's get back into the... We've only got a couple of games left. We're going to run through these ones and start the timer.
Let's go.
And your time starts...
It's nearly been 2 hours. Let's move it.
Now.
Let's hit this.
All right, North versus Hawthorn. So, Higgins, 133. Thank you very much, Sean Higgins. That was great for my draft side.
Oh, was it?
I was really... Well, it was about time that I got something out of him because he's like 85. He's been getting high disposal numbers, but hasn't been converting into SuperCoach scores.
You're an asshole. Interesting is that Wingard actually didn't do too much until
he had 10 disposals.
But then he came second half.
Yeah,
impacted it massively.
First quarter, end of the first quarter, Wingard was on -7.
Yeah, I know
because he gave away a 50-meter penalty.
Did you see that? He's like when he kicked the goal though, he's like.
Did he do a CR7? Did he?
It was like a serious face, like look at the crowd, like I am the tits. And then everyone else got around him, and he's like, everyone gets around the tits.
Just almost that pose. Is that the same pose you did in your Ned's ad?
No, he's like this. It's like it's almost like the soccer guys that come in and like.
Yeah, that's Ronaldo. That's an actual goal celebration.
Well, anyway, so it was like more subtle than that, but it was still the look at me.
I think you've actually channeled that before. So for those playing it along at home, this guy here is the face model for Ned's cricket ads. If you've ever seen like an online ad or like billboards,
you will see more next year. Don't worry.
Pay close attention to the face inside that mask because it's this boy's face.
It's called a helmet. Right there. Do you even know the game?
No, I hate cricket. Cricket is what people do in the off season to keep themselves interested.
Keep talking about the footy.
All right, cool.
I have people to do and places to be. Places to be? No,
that actually works well. So Warple 87. I think that's probably what he averages. I mean, I think he's averaging slightly more than I think he will. Let's have a look at.
I'm very upset with Cousins.
I'm not upset with it.
Well. They've lost 2 midfielders, basically. Shield, Burgoyne, or whatever. Any rotations. Cousin comes out and he gets, a 62. 16 disposals and a behind. Mm-hmm. Horrible.
It's not horrible, but...
Well, it's horrible.
Well, it's not horrible for me because I don't have him.
No, but a few people do. You know.
Yeah, look, but we warned against that.
Yeah, he went 90 last week.
We said don't trade him in on the correction trades.
We did.
And... don't get him in at the start of the year because he's probably going to die in the arse because of... But, I mean, look...
Well, to be fair, though, Chris, if you are messed up with your cousins, then generally those genes do die in the arse. They're not good genes to mess with, everyone.
There's so many jokes I could make right now that I'm trying to avoid.
Is it also ironic that Hawthorn are from Tasmania?
not ironic.
Is that one of my best
By the
ones?
way, how good was that joke on Twitter last week when I said people who trade Isaac Heaney due to an ankle injury and to Tim Kelly, who also now has an ankle injury.
Yeah.
And then I put the gif of like Alanis Morissette busting out ironic. So good. Unbelievable. If you haven't followed our Twitter, follow us on Twitter. We're there literally
I think we've been pretty good on the banter fresh.
It's been pretty fun.
The last like week and a bit.
Scrimshaw pulled it back with a 64. He was going terribly in the first half.
Horrible. To the point where I was like, oh my God, I have him on the field.
You had him on
Clark.
the line?
I had him on field over Clark.
Yeah.
And I was regretting that hard.
Well, I had Dersma
with
a 66, I think. And I was like, oh, please go like 25. I think it was on like 22 at halftime. I was like, oh, I'd love those extra 20 points. But no, unless...
No, it's pretty much the muchness. I think all three pretty much average 65 to 66. So
Warple's averaging at 96 right now. What do you think the percentage chance is of him maintaining an above 90 average for the year?
40%.
That's pretty high.
30 to 40. I don't think he'll maintain it.
No, I think that... So
I think that there's better
I think there's about a 20% chance that he maintains a plus 90 average this season.
Yeah, I'd probably say. I was going to say 30 to 40, but I'm not optimistic either, though.
No,
I was going to say that there's a better than not chance.
Yeah.
If you flip a coin, like 2 out of 3 is no.
It's much more likely he averages under 90 plus and is probably maybe a top 20
How can you
forward.
say under 90 plus? You mean under 90? It's not under 90 plus because plus is a positive of 90.
Just making shit up on the go, bro.
Jesus Christ. I'm with you, but I think if you flip the coin 2 out of 3, he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's for me. So you're looking at 33 and change.
Fair enough.
I think that's interesting. Although O'Meara, you should see how many clangers O'Meara had. Absolutely tore it up. He is the butcher.
I can tell you how many he had. 11.
132 fantasy and 86.
And this is why he's never
Supercoach.
going to be fantasy relevant.
How big is that differential?
Ever again.
How big is that differential? And this is why I love Supercoach, because butchers do not get rewarded.
Yep, it's true.
Literally.
And I'm the butcher of note. On to the North Melbourne team. We'll probably fly through these bad boys, but
Cunnington is absolutely...
He's averaging 122.
Hammer and tong, which...
Isn't the top 5 midfielders in the game right now?
Yeah, but even a broken clock's right twice a day, surely. Like, Cunnington's always been good, but he never gets enough time on ground. He never strings enough of it together. So, yeah, he looks good.
He looks as good as Jasper Pittard's 110.
The benefit is that I think it's also kind of helped that they have all these crappy outside runners. So you have Polek, you have Aaron Hall, all these outside guys. So Cunnington's like literally...
Handball.
I am in there getting contested ball, and I'm just getting it out. And literally, get ball, get out, get ball, get out, get ball, get out.
The less he kicks the ball, the better.
He's getting so many contested possessions, and he's killing it. But he still won't average well for the year.
Do you know who's also averaging really well? He's averaging 97.
Pitter?
Jamie McMillan.
No.
Not a nice little, not a bad little POD if you've got him. Again, I don't think he averages that for the year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he averages, say, 92, 93. And he might end up being just outside the top 10 for this year.
Goldie 114. What's Goldie averaging? He's had 2 good rounds out of 3. I think his second round was horrible, so he's probably averaging 94. Like 80.
94.
Right, 94. Right, okay. So not too bad. Still under what you pay for it, though, really.
You want him averaging 105 to 110.
But
otherwise
he has had 2 pretty good rounds and 1 horrible round. So,
but then again, so have Grundy and so have
except Goldie. They're both averaging 110 and 116. So, hallelujah.
Go on, sorry.
Bing. Look.
David Uniacke came back to the earth with 64 this week. If you trade him in, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
He did make cash though. He made 65k this week.
Oh, not too bad if you had him.
He's still got a negative break even at negative 27, so he's going to make more cash. So it's not a terrible
I also
move.
tweeted about the Ben Brown incident, which I think some people took it literally because they're saying so anyway, Wayne Carey came out criticising Ben Brown. He's never laid a tackle in his life. He's fucking horrible for pressure, blah, blah, blah. So I was actually intrigued. I was like, you know what, let me look up the stats. And I was like, I ended up tweeting him. I actually tagged Wayne Carey and Ben Brown. And I was like, Wayne, you shouldn't be so critical. You have the exact same tackles per game numbers as Ben Brown.
which I don't mind because I hate everything that Wayne Carey says in commentary.
I get it.
He's one of the worst commentators of all time. How he even got a gig in commentating is a joke.
He banged someone's wife.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Not the original indiscretion. One of the CEO's wives.
Yeah, banged his way to the top. Good on you, Duck. I honestly, I definitely lost all respect for him back then, and it really hasn't gone back now. So I can't stand listening to him talk. And maybe that's just me. Maybe
I get it. He's trying to make these opinions or whatever, and he's being critical.
He just says shit for the sake of saying shit.
Well, pretty much. Like Ben Brown not putting enough pressure on. He's not laying enough tackles this season. But to say that the guy never lays a tackle and he's horrible, I'm like, oh, interesting. I'll look it up. Ben Brown.
As a matter of fact, it is averaging.
It's actually really ironic because I'm like, Ben Brown averaging 1.2 tackles for his career. Yeah, interesting. Let me look up Wayne Carey. 1.2. I actually double checked. I was like, is this right?
Did I refresh the page?
Is this right? But then some people tweeted back going, oh, but they're not the same class of player. I'm like, I'm not talking about class. I'm saying if Wayne's going to be critical of a certain element of someone's game, then he should actually watch out that it doesn't actually perfectly align with his game.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
he should just be aware that his role isn't to tackle people, for fuck's sakes. Now I know.
I was getting defensive.
I know.
Oh, Chris.
I know that the game today is a little bit different, and it relies a lot more on forward pressure, and I understand that. But maybe Ben Brown's not a forward pressure player, for fuck's sakes.
Mate, he's like 3 meters tall. How's he going to pressure anyone? He'll be pressuring the power lines. That's all he'll be pressuring.
He's not that guy. I can see it. Now, if you can't see it, then I don't see. I don't understand.
Poor Ruse will be like, oh, his pressure's
What's
horrible.
The average? Defensive. Okay, and this is the other thing. What's the average of everyone's full forward? What are their average tackle numbers
Probably
across
one
the league?
Or something. Really,
it would be. I reckon it's less than 1.2.
Yeah, they'd have to be.
Anyway, let's move it on. Now, someone that may or may not get dropped this week is Bailey Scott, which I'll be upset with because I traded him in.
I think Bailey Scott might keep it this week.
Yeah.
I actually think some others around him might go. I actually think Luke McDonald would be lucky to keep his spot. Literally,
he's been duddish.
He's pretty for the last 18 months. He's pretty much been relying on his family name. That's all he's got going for him at the moment. It's horrible, and I don't know why, because he was so talented. He broke out. You actually considered starting him last year. Yeah, I'm happy to
we're up, and what a great note to finish on.
I know, McDonald.
And we head into the last game of the round, and we're just going to. Do you just want to jump straight in there?
Let's just jump straight in because this game. Well, let's face it, Fremantle
versus St Kilda. Great end to the game. I'll tell you what. Billings kicked a goal with 8 seconds to go on the clock, and they had one clearance opportunity to get the ball forward for potentially a mark or a goal. And unfortunately, the clearance went the other way. Dave Mundy got the clearance. But it did push Jack Billings' score up. So he's got his best score of the season and hit a 108. So kudos to those guys who didn't trade him for no reason last week.
He's actually averaging over 90. 92 or 93. Billings.
Literally, if you had asked... Right. I think if you asked me at the start of the season... what is it over
90? 92,
I said 92, 93. Right? What's his averaging?
93.
He's averaging 93.3.
Yeah.
Okay, can't really ask more than that. It's literally what we thought he might average was about that. He might get, like, if he continues this sort of form, maybe he averages 95.
Yeah, 32 disposals, kicked 2 goals. Can't be too upset.
If his smaller games are 84, 85, you can't.
Parker, though, I don't think it suited him too well. I think...
Interestingly, they changed up. So here's the thing about Parker that I really liked in the last quarter. He didn't touch the ball, I don't think. I think maybe got 1 or 2 possessions. But in the last quarter, he actually was moved on ball when they needed a spark out of midfield to try and get clearances forward. In the last 2 centre bounces, Matt Parker's in the midfield, in the centre square.
Probably because he's a rough guy.
He's big, he's tall, he's fiery, he runs lines. You know, I think that I think that he's valued very highly internally. And I think he's going to be a great SuperCoach cash cow this year. I don't know how long he's going to last. Like, can he get 80s every week? No. And we said this last week.
No, but even as a 47 base, not so bad. When you consider Setterfield, like more like Setterlight, is that shite?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still happy playing Parker on field this week.
Yeah.
I'm okay with his lower 40s, high of 89. He's averaging 73. If I get a 70 this week, I'd be stoked. Like, you know, I'm not expecting...
So
massive scores every week.
what happened to Akers this week, Chris?
He was actually playing the ruck.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, so he was the second ruckman. So Callum Wilkie, remember how we had this conversation? Callum Wilkie was playing ruck? No. So Blake Akers was playing in the ruck this week. So I don't know what's going on at Richo.
Let's put a guy in there that had, what did he have last year? Like leg issues or groin or something, right? Let's just put him in the ruck. Let's just fuck him up.
But
We've already ruined Robertson. Let's just ruin someone else.
Surely changes either this week or next week. So, like you said in
Billy Longer had 47 hitouts in the VFL.
So that was his comeback game. How long do you reckon he sits in the VFL for?
No, maybe one more week.
Maybe, if that. It could be this week.
Who does Saints play this week?
I'll tell you in about 14 seconds.
Oh, just a jiffy.
They play Hawks.
Oh, okay. So yeah, McAvoy and
who plays? No, Roughhead's out.
No, Roughhead will be back.
No, Roughhead's out for the week.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
They already announced that he's out for the week, didn't they?
Okay. No, I thought he was.
If you're in the chat, let us know.
I thought he was in line.
Roughhead.
I thought he was in lines of return, but that could just be me. Segler and McAvoy, so they could probably use someone like him.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think Longer will come in. They'll probably play Marshall as that second forward.
Yeah, I think they need someone.
And again, another reason to not ever think about trading in Marshall.
Well, Wilkie 55, not so bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't terrible. It could have been more, again.
Well, if he starts playing a positive role a bit more, maybe.
Yeah. I tell you what, he looked good when he got the ball, though. He makes the right decisions. He's not going anywhere out of that back line.
Yeah, I know. I actually considered trading Jorge to him. But unlucky.
Let's have a look at how much money he's made, because I think he's made some decent cash out of it at the end. He's just gone up in price, I'm sure.
40k.
Yep. Already made 40k. He's got a break even of 4, so he's going to make a little bit more K.
Projected to go up another 25 or so.
And that's at an average of 55.
Yeah.
You know, if he has a 70 or an 80, and he's more than capable of hitting up a high 80, 90 score.
I'm with you.
He could really break some banks. And so, look, it's not if you have him, which I do, and I started the year with him, I'm happy having him at D8. And sitting in there and going
I think
from
he
there.
can just sit there. Luke Ryan absolutely went monster.
He did.
32 disposals, 94% time on ground. Absolutely went monster. So did Walters as well. So I'm not sure how the dynamic changed once Fyfe went down. I think the Fremantle actually held their steel really well, their nerves.
The dynamic was Mundy. So Mundy.
Mundy definitely.
They just basically went Mundy. You're the prime mover out of.
Well, Mundy, you're the oldest statesman in this field of reject.
Walters played really well, but he played well the whole game. He was fantastic. He got a couple of cheap free kicks, might add. But kicked crucial goals, did everything Walters liked. At some point, and Bradley Hill, at some point, someone's going to have to pay some attention to him.
Oh, he's been killing.
I can't believe how much he's just getting free rein.
Yeah.
You can't leave him 2 meters. The guy's too quick. He'll just get out from under you. He's amazing.
It's not like you can't see him.
Yeah. And look, he only got an 81, but he was very influential in the game. And he's averaging 107 with an 81. You got an 81, he's averaging 107.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Can you look at the average for Gresh? Because I picked him up off the waiver wire and draft, Chris, and I think he's nearly at 100. Is he 96?
Yeah, he's 100.7.
Oh, what a great
averaging.
pickup.
Nice pickup. Do I think he's going to be a top 10 forward?
No, but I think he could push high 80s.
I think
he could push high 80s or even low 90s. He won't be top 10.
Hits. I don't know about that. That was out of bounds.
That was out of bounds.
Thank you to the new follower.
Looks like Walla.
Let's have a look here.
Wajah Hala Wajah. I can't say it.
Wajah 14. How you going, buddy?
Wajah.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the podcast. And
we are finishing.
We're
2 hours, 21 minutes, Chris. No, we're finishing.
We're going to wrap this up.
You wrap it up.
I'll just say, just quickly on Gresh, he's still available as a forward.
Yeah.
He's got value. How much has he gone up? He would have went up 22k. He's priced at 450k.
Break even at 50.
Break even at 50.
Don't do it. Don't do it. They've also had the easiest 3 weeks of their comp, Chris. Remember the first 3 weeks for Saints? So I said if Billings isn't averaging well over the first 3 weeks,
I like his role.
It's hard. His role's good, but it's still for St Kilda.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
how many games are they going to win this year?
Yeah, for sure. So if they win, he could. Oh, look at this. Maybe we're getting popular.
Oh, we're getting more.
We
No, we haven't
got-
had today. We haven't had beer donation.
No, that's okay. I'm okay with that, Chris, because I need to lay off the beers.
Oh,
So
okay.
I shouldn't have even had the 3 tonight. But look,
Shout out to Jordan17X, who commented earlier. Thank you very much for jumping on with us, mate, and joining the team at Twitch Central.
greatly appreciated. Chris, so we're stuck. We've already given our captain's announcements. I think we're pretty good with that. Let's just look at the Twitch one more time, see if there's any more comments.
There are.
And we'll wrap this up nicely in a bow. We'll answer any other questions quickly, and then we'll get out of here. Roughhead still in doubt. Okay, so that's right.
TL73 said, cricket is great, don't at me, bro.
Don't at me. Yeah, it is great.
Fair call. Look, I don't hate cricket.
Hey, and I got paid, Chris.
I'd rather watch
I got paid
football.
$1,000 for like 2 hours work.
No,
which is
I think it's fantastic.
Which is the most I've ever been paid.
Dude,
per
I'm
hour.
jealous. I'm only paying you out because it's
Chris,
funny that
it's
you're...
the most I've ever been paid per hour with my clothes on.
Dude, you should like... Okay, I'll do it, but like in the corner of the billboard there's a SuperCoach Insider symbol.
Maybe.
That would have been sick if you could like cross promote.
Maybe
anyway,
there's
maybe
a movie called Buying the Cow with Ryan Reynolds, and he like tucks his bits in, looks in the mirror, and by bits I mean genitalia. And he looks in the mirror, and someone walks in, he's like, "I'd do me."
Dude, I've never seen that movie.
Buying
I can't
the
believe
Cow.
how.
Yeah.
I need to watch
It's
it.
actually a really funny reference.
Um,
All right, Ben, you need
Bro
to
Cook is
get
sometimes right 3
Mate,
times a day. Okay.
Big Head, yeah, Big Head Zero Cup. I know Big Head.
Yeah, I love Big Head.
That's
Burley
Burley
Brewing. They're
Burley
down the
Brew.
coast.
They also have another one. It's
Twisted Palm.
No, Twisted Palm's awesome. They
I
also
love it.
have a British one, and it's called My Bitter Wife.
My Bitter Wife. It's good.
It's actually
decent.
really good.
Yeah, I
It
don't
reminds
mind it.
me of Rogers.
Yeah.
Actually, it reminds me of Rogers.
It's
quite
actually a
crisp.
great spot. If you go to the Gold Coast, if you're watching from Brisbane or if you're anywhere across Australia and do go to the Gold Coast, their Burley Brewing Company
It's
is
awesome.
fantastic
They're
spot
not-
to have beers for the afternoon. They have food trucks rock up for food.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but their beer is actually really,
Well,
really good.
At the brewery, it's cheap because you can pay like $20 for a taster platter and you get a free brewery tour.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome. Dude, go there. It's really nice, really chic.
Might have
They've
to
just
do
done it
that.
up.
But
It's-
Big
it's
Heads,
cool.
I'm all for the low carb. Don't
Yeah.
worry, mate. We're good with that. Rowan Marshall, do not... What's he saying? Trap. Oh, yeah, he's a trap. Rowan Marshall,
Absolute
trap.
trap, yeah.
Literally the biggest trap since, but trapper.
Funbeam says, I'm with you, Chris. Wayne Carey is a shit commentator. Yeah, guaranteed, mate.
Hey, they're not our words.
Absolute game. People think that Ben Brown has a long run up, but really it's only 5 steps for him. That's not true.
It's a
But I
gigantor.
respect the joke.
Gigantor.
Probably wait till Billings plays a non-bottom 6 team. Yeah, true. We need
Yeah.
more of a sample size from
We
him.
do. Average prediction for Jack Steele's average. So we both said about 105, didn't we, Chris? Like,
Yeah, 105 I think is conservative, and if he hits a peak, it's 110, absolute max.
yeah,
But 105 is where I'm.
still don't think 110, but I think 105. And
Yeah.
at this point, I think his first 2 games or so, he was averaging 107.5. So
Yeah. At the start of the season, I said, okay, what's his absolute maximum output? It's 110.
yeah,
However, what's his likely output? 105. So that's my opinion.
yeah, I'm with you.
We've also had another one here. So Funbeam says, in your honest opinion, what is Luke Ryan going to be a top 8 defender? I tell you what, in the preseason, I had him as a top 8. So
He definitely had the potential. I think I had him in and out of the top 10, like close enough. But he hasn't been that impressive before this round, though, Chris. I don't.
no,
believe.
he's had some low
He's
scores.
actually had a couple of duddies.
However, do you know what his average is?
100, 108.
108.
Yeah. Well, he did get 150. He went absolutely
Yeah.
156
Yeah, exactly.
over 3 rounds.
Exactly. So
That's like an extra.
massively
That's like an
inflated.
extra 20. So he was averaging like 88, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Bang! I'm averaging
I
100."
get it, but do I think that he
Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de
averages
from here?
close to 100? Yes, I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought he could.
If you have Luke Ryan, don't trade him.
Also, don't forget that he actually averaged so well in the first half of last year, and then averaged like 80 flat for the back end of the year,
That's also
which was also the issue. So yeah, it's.
He
I
can
think
go
he's-
big.
he
He
looks
can
great.
go small.
He looks
can go
great,
big.
but
He can go small.
He can
Yeah.
also become very irrelevant. So
Yep.
yeah. Any final remarks there, Chris? Any final questions quickly before we wrap up? And
TL73 confirmed that Roughhead is still in doubt.
oh yeah, guilt-free beer. Yeah, guilt-free, less for the gut. The low carb beers.
Oh yeah,
They're
100%.
quite tasty. We
And
are the on the low carb. So
the last one before we go down, this is our last question for the day. Will Brodie Smith lift? I don't think he necessarily needs to lift. I think he needs to average 90 to 95 and then be upgraded to a keeper in.
I think
at the Pies.
I think keep him. He had a horrible round. I think Geelong's pressure were really good. And at this point, Geelong's pressure is better than most other sides' pressure. Yeah. So he will absolutely.
Adelaide have had a tough run, but they are coming up with some fantastic
they're coming up with some absolutely. I'm going to quick look at it here, Chris.
Do you want me to show the people at home?
Well, quickly.
I've got it up here. Yeah. So hold on.
Just quickly scroll by the team. Scroll by team. Adelaide have an absolutely amazing run coming up. Search by club. Straight up Adelaide. Boom. Bang. Okay, so
who's next round? North this week.
Suns, Saints, Dockers, Port, Lions,
Brisbane,
and then it gets a couple of hard ones. Yeah, 3 hardies.
And even Richmond now, they're not the Richmond of last year.
No.
God.
But you look at that though.
The next 5-6 rounds.
Yeah. So Lions League points, Port League points. Yeah, so realistically, you're looking at North Suns, Saints, Freo. The next
That's
4.
When you're trading them.
Just the next 4.
Yeah.
The next 4.
And then you can trade him in round 10
which
if
is
you really
why
want.
that's why I'm so upset that I don't have Matt Crouch right now, because he could average 125 over the next 4 weeks easy.
Yeah.
Which is very upsetting, Chris, because I know he's done well already, and I don't have him. So
fair enough.
I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Crouch actually averaged 130 plus the next 4 rounds.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
110, 150,
that's why
131.
Because I'm a intelligent sort of guy.
Yeah, anyway, thank you very much for joining us. It has been 2.5 hours long. We will wrap it up here. Look, I know quite a lot of you do enjoy the long podcast. We still have 16 people here 2.5 hours later, so thank you very much. Bless you. Hashtag bless your week.
Hashtag bless.
Hashtag no one gets knocked down on your side. Hashtag keep 5. Even I'm not sure I want to.
No, honestly, I think it's got to be a call on your own team.
It's a 50-50, yeah.
If you've got the cash to go up, go up.
Oh, if you don't have nil, yeah, go for that.
Don't go down a Libba or something stupid like that. Use 2 trades.
Well, maybe.
But I mean, I suppose if you keep 5, you're going to waste the trade anyway.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but at least you can save that trade for another date. Look, thanks again. We have really appreciated you and all your comments and all the interaction for all everyone on Twitch as well. For everyone that is listening to this tomorrow, at least you get the info before the bounce tomorrow night for the Sydney and the D's podcast, the D's game, should I say.
Are we going to be doing Sundays from now on? Is that the plan from here on forward, or will we?
Possibly. I'll still have assessment and stuff to do, but we'll sort it out.
We're trying to get earlier content.
We will essentially start to be doing Sundays, but it may not be for another couple of weeks. We'll see.
Okay.
But the idea is that we have actually spoken, saying that Sundays, as soon as the last game is over. But then what if it's like a late game, though, Chris? Anyway, we'll do a Sunday possibly. That's the idea. That's the idea moving forward. So that way, as soon as the last game's done, we record, we interact. This is the game that's just been done, and then we upload that. So we'll see how we go.
Anyway, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Enjoy. Thanks again. And also thank you again for the Young Henrys.
And if you want to make a donation,
delish,
feel free to do so.
Well, yeah.
It's just in our link below.
We should have said we've never tried Big Heads before. Oh, they'd be so nice. I've never tried Big Heads. I think they'd cost $23.85. How about you shout out? Nah. Anyway, thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Peace. Bye.